work.
2,500, is that what you said?
25.
Okay. So saving 500, okay.
Anybody?
No, I think that you guys got it.
Scott, Danny?
Just on donations and other revenues, you seem to be pretty steady. You just have regular people donating each year, or you have fundraisers or anything for the museum?
We did have a fundraiser.
Well, I think it's mainly, there's a donation jar at the archives. And so anytime people come in from out of town or in town and Houston, it's just, they just consistently are dropping in. So I think it's just kind of steadied out, but yeah.
I'm missing that donations. What's
To the
that?
top.
Bottom of the top revenue.
Oh. Okay. Anybody have anything else, Patrick?
No.
Well, we appreciate you coming in.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks for your time. And I'll have Mary make those, I'll let her know what we're gonna do there. So we're good to go.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, and as we're going to fair, we can do fair advisory boards, page 21, and events are 56. So I don't know who's coming in first, fair or Billy.
Sorry, 56 and what?
21.
21, thank you.
When you said to do the pledge, I wasn't sure if it was you or me.
I know, I thought about that afterwards. You started, so I was about
I was
to,
like-
I was about to say good morning and
I paused for a minute to see if I heard her, and then I was like, I don't know which one of us is supposed to do it.
Do it, yeah.
I don't know who's getting called on here, me or you.
that's okay. Who was it one time? Was it me or somebody said, lead the pledge to the sheriff?
Yeah, the sheriff, and he started.
I started.
I had to chuckle at that one.
It was one of the very
Yeah.
early meetings,
Yeah.
so
We really didn't need to do a pledge since we just recessed, so.
I know. But it
Well,
never
Andrew's
hurts.
here.
Okay,
So we could
Andrea's
do-
here, so you want to do fair board first?
Okay.
She walked in and
Fair
gets
board,
her
Anna?
top seat.
Page 56,
56?
56.
In the hot seat.
Morning.
We don't give you
Good morning.
a chance to settle.
No.
Right. Just feel old because these are so little.
Oh, don't feel alone,
I know.
believe me. We're gonna ask Steve to print them on 11 by 17 next year.
Well, let's just start at the top minus the wages.
I would just say one thing to start off, you'll notice that there's no county influx here, that the funding being used is what the fair has done in the past and what they earn. So there's no additional county dollars requested at this time, correct?
Yes, correct. And it's been that way, it looks like
Yeah.
since 23.
Yep,
Yeah,
quite a while.
we had a little, after the COVID year, we had to rebound a little bit, but
Yeah.
since then we've been able to
Okay.
cover the expenses. And save a little for some bigger projects that we kind of have in mind.
Colleen?
With what, follow up with what Dossie just said, remember though that all of their employees are paid out of the events.
Right.
So it is a cost to the county still, on,
Right.
for the payment of those employees during that week.
Yeah.
But other than that, we sustain this also.
Mhm. Well, and they help with some of the, as Andrea mentioned, they help with some of the buildings and grounds projects that the county probably would not do on their own.
So Dossie or anybody, so what happens with the extra?
What extra?
The
If
reserve-
they
reserve
earn
reserve.
more in their reserves, they keep that for larger projects, like in the past, we've talked about the siding on the beef barn, which ended up getting done through mutual work. There's some pens, sheep pens.
Yeah,
There
the
were
pig wash racks
pig
are
wash rack.
gonna have to be redone. We've snaked them or whatever, and it's just not effective.
Right.
We really need to do something with the power in the beef barn.
Mhm.
And those are all projects that, you know, I mean, I can see why the county may not want to do those because they're pretty specific to the fair, but they're pretty also critical to the fair, so they would be things that we would like to
Yeah.
work towards saving to make those changes.
Yep.
I'm trying to
Yes,
find.
Steve, go ahead.
Chairman, that money is held in the cash carryover.
Oh, okay.
You'll
that's
see
what
on
I
the
can
very
see.
top line, 129,000.
Yeah.
So any extra revenue over expenses they had would follow up into the cash carryover line.
And then it's set aside for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Mr. Chairman, one of the issues that we've had in the past for a lot of, not just the Fair Advisory Board, but a lot of the other boards were them trying to spend it as quick as possible before
Right.
they had to return it back to the county. So I think that actually changing the rules where they can have a carryover has actually saved us quite a bit of money
Yeah.
during this time, so.
Yeah.
And that's why I was asking, because I remember they used to have to turn it back in.
Right.
And so,
I think it's helped a lot.
yeah,
And like she said, they they use it for things that the county doesn't necessarily have the funds to just put toward buildings and grounds, because the wash racks for pigs are used a week and a half out of the year unless we put in a few other shows. But right now, that's the only case. So that would be a great place to have a little bit of help funding that.
right.
And Mr. Chairman, as Andrea said, there are some of the projects that could work toward the fair, and we've also talked about even expanding, changing the way the camping's done out there. And the Fair Advisory Board could help out even with some of the landscaping, that we have really issues with drainage out there at the fairgrounds. So I think it works pretty good with our buildings and grounds and the Fair Advisory Board, discussing this back and forth and helping out with some of these projects.
Mhm.
Mr. Chair, I got one question though, and it's a number that it wasn't, it's under building maintenance and
Property
property
improvements.
improvements. That we didn't use, we were 0 2 years ago, 0 last year, and now there's 58,000. What is that project?
So that's just our ability to continue to save and accrue money towards those larger projects. You know, those projects that I think are on the forefront of our minds are the ones we've discussed with you today. It's just that, you know, we have to have enough
Yeah,
there
that's
to,
how you came up with that number.
yeah.
Bill, you got some?
No, you guys need me on the mic. Just, I don't know if it was mentioned before, but some of these numbers will change as we're still collecting revenue off of ticket sales. And so that, you go back up to the revenues side under events. Right now, we're setting at about 104,000. We'll see what all comes in via the end of June, and when that number rises, either the number on the buildings and property improvements or well, there's another big one right there.
The equipment and furniture purchases.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
one of those two numbers will also go up to keep that at that zero balance budget.
Okay.
I
But-
hope that
But
makes-
those ticket sales are tickets that are being sold for this fair. They've gone on sale, and so,
For next year.
yeah, so it's,
Next year's budget.
yeah, it's they're gonna come in before the end of this fiscal year, but they're really attributed to next year's budget.
I think right now we've got $60,000 to $80,000 worth of checks lined up to be cut here in July on our first cut of checks. Then August we'll have that and some more.
Timing is everything.
Yeah, yeah.
if we had the fair at the end of June, we'd have,
Be helpful.
a lot easier.
Wouldn't help the state any, but it'd be helpful financially.
Another thing I think worth noting that maybe we're seeing in some of those numbers is this year we made a decision not to do a concert. That has been a loss for, you know, a number of years. And so, you know, that's a $25,000 to $35,000 expense that we don't have this year because we're gonna try to go a different route.
Yeah.
It's true. I just want to say overall, I mean, if you look at the history of the revenue coming in, that we're building, and that's
Mhm.
attributed to the way things are being run.
Yeah.
The revenue is coming in, and we're not going the other way, you know, so
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah, I think it's those kinds of decisions that you finally have to say no, even though the community would like one, they don't support it financially enough when concerts have gone to what, 30,000 to get a
Yeah.
minor
Yeah.
entertainer?
Yeah, when the stage alone's 10 grand.
That's, yeah, the stage is 10 grand,
We
so,
just barely covered that last year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anybody got anything else? Well,
Thank you.
thank you very much for coming in.
You bet. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
and Andrea, I am still pushing on the bylaws.
Okay, very good.
Scott's heard from me about every day.
And yeah. You just gotta push somewhere else.
Yeah,
Billy. take the
Good
mic.
morning.
Take the mic.
21.
Is that better?
Got it.
Oh, wow, yeah.
21.
Bueller. Sorry, I was here 20 minutes early, but holy cow, you guys are,
We're efficient.
Well,
I appreciate it.
We might spend more time digging on yours.
Okay, well,
Yeah, that gives us more time.
Why don't you just go ahead and start it? We'll go down to the top here of telephone cell service.
yep, we've got the two cell phones, those come out, are about $85 a month. So those, just shy of 12, not $100 a month, so just a little under 1,200 on that one. So figured we'd keep it the same. Steve, is it easier to see the current actuals on your computer versus up there? I can't hardly read that. Cause I have last month's actuals,
This is through June.
or I guess then mine's yeah. So that should come out fairly. Is that 11/24 that you have on that actual? Yeah.
Hours over.
Oh. Going down advertising and legal,
Back up.
oh,
one second
sorry.
there with that, again, I look at that and you're continually over. We had a discussion with somebody saying telephone and cell service was going up, right?
Some of the carriers have indicated that and some haven't. So I don't know. Are your two carriers the same?
They never
Yep.
go down.
They never.
Yeah,
I'm just wondering if we throw $100 in there.
jump it up to 1,200 instead of 11.
I think so, looking at your history.
Does make sense.
Why don't we just go down and see if anybody has any questions when we can address the ones that we,
I kind of have one at the top.
okay.
If we go clear to the top, Billy, regular employee wages and salaries. You're at 128, you spent 123 and you've moved it to 147.
I'm giving myself a raise.
I see.
No, no, Steve, I honestly don't know. That'd be
That's we had that, his
utility.
utility guy, whatever, that half was coming out of building and grounds last year and half out of Billy's, so that's fully under Billy now.
Okay, so it should move out of buildings and grounds then, is what you're saying. Okay.
Utility?
Utility worker. He does.
Our custodian, slash,
grounds.
yeah,
Custodial slash maintenance.
Nate, yeah,
He was 50% out of buildings and grounds before and 50% out of
because
events, and now he's totally under events.
the year prior, so when I first took over or stepped into my position, it was a full-time position under the events. And then we went down to part-time due to the library being at the fairgrounds because they were essentially strictly custodial staff. And so to make sure that we are being able to incorporate a full 40-hour work week, mowing the yards, doing all sorts of odds and ends and maintenance ordeals.
Okay.
So that's what affected all of those line items on the top as far as health insurance and all those things. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, we want to keep Nate around. He's great.
I guess due subscriptions and bonds, Billy, you had 600 last year, you spent 2,400. You have 1,000 this year. Why do you think that you can only go with 1,000 if you spent 2,400 last year?
Trying to think of what that, when we had that one. Be honest with you, Dossie, I don't remember what that, we had one big deal on there and I don't remember what it was.
None of the dues are changing that you're aware of to the fair associations or anything that you belong to or?
No, ma'am, and most of those come out of the Fair Advisory Board.
Okay.
And
But if you were at 2,400 and you don't know of any particular changes, I guess I'm a little concerned that you only have 1,000 in there again.
And I would have to look back through our expense sheet.
Do you want to
Figure out what it
check
was.
that one?
Yes, ma'am.
Billy, on another one, materials and supplies. Consistently been around 700, 500, and you have 1,500.
I think a lot of that one we've been using a lot of the Fair Advisory Board to help cover that one. This year, I mean, we were at 5, so that one would have been from the water truck maintenance that we did, getting the materials to build our duct valves to actually make it shoot water. So I'd be fine with dropping that further.
Billy, one thing we've tried to get on and let people know that have vehicles and stuff is to try to make sure you put that stuff where it belongs. So if you're doing something with a water truck or a vehicle, do it under the maintenance. So just try to align them as close as you can with what the line item says. We've had another department had the same issue, but if you're doing something to a vehicle, try to put it under maintenance or
Yes,
repairs
sir.
or something like that.
So we go into 1,000 on supplies.
Sounds like it. Come on, Lloyd, you haven't said anything.
What's that?
yeah.
You haven't said anything. Are you going to 1,000?
No, I'm agreeing with
Okay.
everything you say, and he's.
I come out of the gate trying to.
Mr. Stewart's getting ahead of me here because he's throwing but yeah, I mean, if you transparency, you look at it, it's like, are you not changing oil in this? You know,
Right.
you're putting it in materials and supplies instead of under vehicle maintenance, so I don't know what the end result here, but 500 out of materials and supplies moved down to maintenance would look better.
Yes, sir.
Well,
It's not
and
changing the
it's easier, as Colleen said, if somebody does a FOIA and
Exactly.
asks how much
Right.
maintenance did the
Right.
fair do on, did the events do on
Equipment.
their
You bet.
equipment, then she can search it easy, she goes to that line item and can find it easier.
Absolutely.
So I can't see what you did. We do that. We would drop material supplies down to 1,000 and 500 in maintenance. Doesn't change the bottom line, but I mean, it would look better.
I mean,
Do
I think
we-
that was a one-time deal that went in there, so it really shouldn't affect your vehicle maintenance.
I'm not sure we need it under maintenance if you look at what he's been
Because
using.
you're talking about a one-time.
Well, we gotta
Yeah.
have some kind of, something under vehicle. That's,
There is.
There is.
There's 2,500. Oh,
that's
vehicle
the
maintenance, I'm not
purchase.
down
If
far
there's
enough.
1,000.
Maintenance.
Right.
Bottom line, that's
Right.
1,000.
My ruler was 5 in the. Okay. So can we just drop 500 out of material?
Mhm.
But, and you're saying not put it in maintenance?
No, just take it.
Just take it from him.
We're stealing raw.
Are you,
We gave them 100 up above. What they dropped it low.
are you saying, on materials and supplies?
Mhm.
Are you saying take another 5?
I-
He's reduced it by 5.
Right,
Yeah.
we just did.
Drop it to 1,000 and
Yeah.
take
Drop it
5.
to 5. Okay.
The next one that I have is equipment furniture maintenance repair. That one also was 2,500 and we spent 13, 15. We did have a big one 3 years ago, but still wasn't 25.
So you want to go to
Oh.
2?
I would ask that we leave that there. We've got to get a new battery for our tractor. Right, as well as we've got that side by side back in the shop. It's backfiring and something's going on with it. That is above mine and Nate's knowledge.
Does a side by side go under vehicles or under equipment?
Well, that's my question.
I don't know that it's, I don't know if a side by side.
Wouldn't that be under vehicle machinery?
The equipment.
Okay,
Vehicle machinery, equipment maintenance and repair,
okay.
so up that by. What'd you say? 1,500?
Billy, how many vehicles do you have?
We've got the silver Chevy, Nate uses the white 1,500. And then the tractor and side by side.
Okay.
And the little gas powered golf cart.
I guess given the age of these vehicles, I understand they're not used all the time, but I would be hesitant to go too low on that
Right.
because of the age of the
Right.
machines.
I follow now what you're saying, I see equipment and furniture maintenance and repairs.
Right,
So I guess, yeah, the four-wheeler could go under that too, because it was equipment.
that was,
So I guess where do we draw the line between vehicle and equipment?
that was.
So that's, yeah,
Well, under state law, a side by side is considered a vehicle.
Because you can't
Okay.
license them by the long highway. So
What's that? You
you
can't,
can't
yeah.
license-
I mean, between those two, that's not a huge thing. It's just make sure you're not putting them under materials and supplies or one of the trap, you know, something else. Just make sure you try to get them under the correct.
yes, sir.
Anything else?
And just like Colleen mentioned earlier, most of that salary, well, not most. Some of that salary line includes the temporary employees that we get for fair.
And they have the whole money.
Yeah,
above the
yeah.
same.
But I mean, the top, when we're talking about wages of,
So the top one is just
Right.
our two.
right,
Full-time.
2 employees,
or
well, 3,
Three.
right,
Yeah.
and then the one under that.
Is
The
all
50,000 is the temporary. And how many are there, Bill?
currently or once fair's all rolling.
Rolling.
Hopefully close to 50.
Temporaries? Really?
Did you say 15 or 50?
50.
Huh.
We usually bring in quite a.
Because we do security, grounds, tickets, gates. Yeah, it takes a crew.
More than you think that it would.
Yeah,
Put a few extra in the beer garden.
I don't have anything to do with the beer garden. That is taken out.
Here, I do have a question though, and I'm looking, your overtime pay. You did really good, but are you changing the way you're staffing to where you don't have as much overtime?
That was,
If you are, that, do you know it worked last year, can we carry that through? Because you got 10,000 extra in there than what you spent.
so yes, last year we were, because the year before, my not oversight, my lack of oversight, there we go, really mess that budget up. Last year we did really well. I'm not sure this year because getting the employees that we need. So because
Needs 50 and he only gets 40, well, he's got like 10
Somebody-
people that are gonna have to work for him.
Is
Some
that how it-
overtime, but we do appreciate that you've watched out for that overtime. Some of that.
learning. I mean, we can drop it down and we can, I'll keep a close, yeah.
I'm just curious if you had that you're doing it different, if you.
Well,
This year,
we definitely did do it.
fine
Yeah.
because of the previous 3 years, but last year you said
Yeah.
hit 40%
Mhm.
of the overtime budget line, so.
So we are definitely doing it different. It's just dependent on if I can get the staffing right now. We're still struggling on that front.
I'm okay.
Now, but,
Okay.
Good.
Talk about it next June.
well, or later in
Yeah.
this budget, where we end up, but.
That's true.
All right, well, thanks for coming in.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Christie, we already did the fair budget. Okay, she's. Andrea's sitting out here if you want to go over it with her.
We talked about you while you were here.
Yeah,
Well, you know, said 8:40,
yeah.
5 minutes early.
Okay, Parks and Rec, page 60.
Actually,
Parks and Rec.
He's done.
Oh, boy.
That's
Same
last
place.
page.
Hi, Dan. Oop.
Goes through it. Just send it to me.
first of all. That's like to see this in the house.
Yep, where it's gone. Where it's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Sir? I guess starting off, I think you all know, I've been here a few times. Dan Hammond, Chair of the Parks and Rec. I guess start off on where we spent our money this last year. A lot of the same type stuff, but you know, we always get a few extras thrown in, and POW Wrestling Club. That was actually an expenditure that came up at the end of last budget year, but we didn't have enough money. We told them to hold on till we had more money, and we approved that early on. The snow machine is actually for Matizzi, is actually a groomer that trails down there. In the shooting club in POW, it's somewhat associated with the high school, but the high school, shall we say,
It's a club.
don't sanction them, don't give them money. They're a total volunteer group. The Cody Legion team, again, we always help out both Legion teams with various equipment. Cody Fishing Day is the youth fishing derby up here at the Newton Lake and whatnot. Ducks Unlimited, this was a new one, and these were conservation stamps that they had a drawing for the youth that came to their annual meeting. They're trying to encourage more youth involvement in fun sports. We purchased some lifetime conservation stamps for them. Cody Community Theater, this was a somewhat new one, and it's a volunteer group here in Cody that puts on plays and whatnot. So we helped them, they have to build their stages and their props and stuff, and the tools, their husbands are complaining that they're borrowing their tools. So they wanted to build up a little bit of supply. Cody Pride softball, that's
girls softball team. We like to help them out. It's one of the bigger, I guess, recreation organizations for girls around here. Olive Glen, a range picker, we helped finance that. That was not a total donation. The picker was more like 17,000, so we partially financed that. Then our big one for the year is that they call themselves Friends of Shoshone Trails. It's the new trail system up in Sunlight Basin.
Oh,
That'll
yeah,
be
it's got a different name.
cross-country skiing, hiking, horseback, whatnot.
Hawk halters involved in that. There's another name for it though with the cross-country part and I can't think of what it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
The group that came and talked to us were, I guess, a combination of cross-country skiers, mountain bikers,
Mhm.
and also the one lady from Powell was a horseback and mountain biker. So we paid for their ARC study. Again,
Mhm.
federal government wouldn't accept the 25-year-old ARC study that had been done during the timber cutting, so they required a new one. That's kind of, I like those kind of projects when they come around. We don't get a lot of them, but you know, they're long-term legacy things, and you know, that's what we're about, is trying to get people outside and recreate, and it's gonna be a great system. I personally haven't been on it. They had a lot of drawings and pictures and whatnot, but
I think Casey mentioned it when he was here with the Forest Service. He talked about that project going through.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, and they actually have been helping the group out a lot because they picked an area that would hopefully not get a lot of resistance.
Mhm.
Youth Clubs Park County, that is the old Boys and Girls Club. And we purchased various recreational equipment for them, and that's both Cody and Powell, covered both of them. Powell Legion, again, various equipment for their Legion program. City of Cody, the rec department up here, we helped out with some of their dumbbell equipment. Matitsi Rodeo, this was their rodeo grounds down there, obviously. I guess it was the gates for their rough stock. And they're old, beat up and hazardous. They really felt that it was kind of hindering some of the rodeo. The people actually weren't coming because the equipment wasn't safe. It sounded like it was kind of put together 30 years ago, maybe.
They're longer.
Powell Golf Club, again, we helped them out. This is a range ball dispenser. So they felt out on the ranges, people can come, put a token in, get range balls, so it'll be a revenue generator for them. They don't have to have anybody be there in the pro shop. Somebody comes early, they can go to the range. And then the last thing is the Powell Rec. Most of it was for their youth football league, helmets and shoulder pads, and then some of the supplies for their summer children's programs.
Sure.
So did you have a lot more requests than you had funding? I mean, I appreciate what you're doing and looking at how you distribute it. In a sense, that's what you do. We give you X dollars and you try to spread it around. And I think you've done an excellent job there. My question, I guess, is, do you kind of keep a track of ones that did not yet receive anything, and how much was that?
Most years we don't have many projects we turn down. We don't have a high volume of people that come. I guess one of our favorites, yours and mine, that we probably turned down this year was fireworks. We didn't, fireworks are probably the only thing that talked to us that I discouraged to not come, because we probably were not
It's
going to.
tough. I mean, everybody's priorities for recreation are different.
It is.
But I'm looking at it here, there's something here I think we shouldn't have, but that's me. And there's, but
Yeah. Most of the clubs that are on here, probably 3/4 of these are repeat people that know we're there. they come back, Legion, they come back, the softball, the rec departments. Some of these, our group tries to go out in the community and say, hey, you know, we have money if you have good programs, and that's where the Cody Theater came. I think also, well, it was the Sunlight Project. That was a contact from one of our people. But yeah, we don't have a lot of turn downs anymore. We will sometimes reduce what they ask for.
Your criteria is still basically equipment or needs that way, not salaries, not insurance, not that kind of stuff.
No,
Okay.
no, we try to stay away from those type of things.
I
Yeah.
thought you did.
In response to Commissioner Teal, that at the May meeting, most of the funds have already been dispersed. We have a carryover with Powell, the golf course, because they only brought in one bid. And so we asked for more bids on that machine. But I think the word did get out that we had cut part of this, because you see some programs that weren't, that didn't come in. Powell Little League didn't come in, which is usually part of it. I know some of the board members, and I mentioned to them that we were cutting, and that may have been why they didn't come in, or maybe they didn't need to come in. Same with the Cody Little League too. That was part of, we usually, lacrosse team usually comes in, they didn't come in. So I think there were some entities that maybe didn't come in because they had heard we had cut some of the funding, or possibly not. Another thing that we're doing too is we've gone more online with people submitting their applications. Before, they would have nothing. They wouldn't bring us any budgets, what they have or what money that they're putting together. Now we have an online process where they fill out the forms, and so that all the board members can see what their budget is, what the money is used for, and how many bids that they went out to get. So it's a little more modern is what we had before too. So
Yeah, we've tightened, at good point, Scott, that we require 3 bids for whatever they're, and we've had several groups come in with 1 bid, and you know, it's just like our board, they're all most all of these people are volunteer boards. That's not their profession. It's not what they do. A lot of these boards, parents will age out. When the kids get older, they leave, and all that knowledge leaves with them. And then the next person gets dumped, and it's like, I need equipment. Where do I go? What do I do? And, you know, they come in and they're, you know, they don't know the process. They've never been through it. So they're like, we need 3 bids. So there's probably 3 or 4 of them on here that we did not approve at first meeting because they didn't have the bids. Or we do a contingent approval on seeing 3 bids. We would tell them, you know, we're going to approve your project, but we need to see more bids. And somewhat, some of the stuff, I don't remember exactly which one. There was a couple, you know, the snow machines for grooming trails. It's not like everybody does that. So some of those are harder to get multiple bids. And, you know, of course you could get bids if you go all over the world, but we try to encourage local buying, but you know, a lot of this stuff, and local buying, we've seen in the past at times, you know, going to brother-in-law to buy baseball equipment isn't always the best deal. It's local, that's fine, but we have a responsibility to stretch our dollars as far as we can. So, but yeah, it's, and then some of these groups don't come every year, come one year and they won't need anything for a few years. Cross-country skiers, a good example, up at the North Fork, and they come like once every 5 years or something.
Mr. Overfield?
Also, I think if I remember correctly, in the times that I've been involved, was that you also look at the number of kids or participants. It's not always kids, but participants that you're helping with these funds. I mean, if somebody comes in and they only have 3 people doing this and they're asking for a lot of money, that would be different than somebody coming in that has 300 baseball kids.
Yeah, and Legion Baseball is one that always comes up. They don't ask for huge amounts of money, but they have a smaller group than say the Cody Pride softball. And that's a good one to ask because the youth clubs of Park County. That was when I asked the question, how many people? And they had between the two, I think it was around, Scott probably knows, but I think it was around 200 kids between Cody and Powell.
Okay.
And that was one of our discussions is that dollars per kid is very low for that group, which might be a very underserved area of kids, but yeah, that's one we always look at. Some of these sports are expensive. They can't expect us to finance everything. And as you guys are all aware more than I am, the stuff going on with the funding in the schools, which may affect our funding also, but I wouldn't be surprised to see more of those groups approach us. I don't know that for a fact. We don't contribute, and we never have over the years, a lot of money to school programs. We try to separate that. They have their own budgets, but what we've helped out, artificial turf, tennis courts and tennis courts and Cody. We have helped out, but those are some multi-group, non-school groups use those things also.
Okay.
But yeah, we sometimes we're scrambling to find groups, and a lot of it is people aren't aware. And again, it's a lot of that factor of people don't know where to go. And they get us confused with Shoshone Rec here in Cody. And people say, well, I didn't even know you existed. And then we always if they come, we also like to tell them, it's like, have you asked Shoshone Rec? Because a lot of times they have more money than we do. And so we share projects a lot. And Powell Rec is not funded as well as Shoshone Rec is. Matici Rec is even funded less, but they do what they can.
I just want to say thank you, Mike. Thank you for what you do. I think you guys are doing a great job for what you're working with. But with that, I mean, I have no problem leaving the budget where it is, letting them do their job. But we also, are being known that, budgets are tight and this is not necessarily a must or it's more of a want than a need. So, as we move forward, I hope we can continue to fund this, but reality is we don't know yet in the future where we're going. So, but I tell them, thank you for what you do.
Yeah, we're well aware of that. We discuss it at most meetings. I grill Scott every chance I get, and how's budget looking, and yeah, I've been around this board long enough. I remember the years of getting 400,000 and more. And it was like all budgets, income changes and you do what you do. We'll spend what we get, and if we go away, it was a nice run.
Well, we certainly hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Again, thanks for what you do on this, and the volunteer work's great and appreciate it. Not easy to tell people no.
Yeah, and we years ago used to do some advertising in the paper a bit. It didn't really get any response, and we're kind of like,
Okay.
why waste the money? Word of mouth, and commissioners have brought projects to us over the years, and so yeah, but again, a lot of these youth programs, personally, I like to help the youth programs. I think it builds better humans in the long run. But again, those volunteer groups, it's tough. They don't know what they're doing, and we want to see their budgets. We want to see their board, and they're like, oh, I didn't know I was supposed to do that. And but we work through it, but the online thing is helping. We're kind of smoothing some of that out. So.
Yeah, and I think one of the things when people look at this too, is they look at that Safe Friends, it's just showing you think that's a lot of money, but for what value will come later to the public, it's worthwhile. I mean, it's hard to look at that, think that was for a study, but knowing everything about it and what it's gonna bring to that area. As much as I don't like people in that area, I like to be by myself up there, but.
Yeah, you know, and we've done a lot of the, again, like this Sunlight Basin project. In the past, it's been quite a few years ago, trailheads and corrals and things like those. And of course, they're built right, to last a long time, but those are things that, you know, boat ramps, we've helped out the game and fish on that. And those are really good projects that stay for a long time. You buy baseballs, you know, they might go away in one season, but those are good programs too. But
So along those lines, you are familiar with the Park County Outdoor Rec?
yes,
You know, that's it's a group and a bunch of funding from the state that is more targeted to outdoor trailheads, things like that. So, I mean, if you, just for information, if you're not familiar, get with them and that's somewhere you can maybe steer some of these requests towards. Cause they are literally sitting on millions of dollars for the state.
Yeah.
That is set aside for outdoor things like that, trails and maintenance. And so maybe we could use it
yeah.
other places. I'm just throwing that out there. If
Yeah.
you're not,
When we're aware of other groups available for money, we do try to steer them there.
yeah,
And yeah, there's some of those state.
trying to get them
things.
to fill one of those requests. I mean, they have a lot of meetings of what I've found. And I was involved in one that we built a boat ramp on the for kayakers, paddlers and stuff. But and they did some work out here on the outlaw trails. But there's always talking about projects. But if you have a group out, backcountry horsemen or somebody like that that comes in, especially trailheads and campsites and things like that. Yeah, I mean, those are that's a good funding source for them
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, they definitely
Hard
are.
for more.
And most of those groups, the bigger groups, I know the one in Sunlight, they're going everywhere because there's a lot of money building trails. And there's a project that's in the works. It's been for a while. They're wanting to redo the boat ramp area here in Cody down by the Belfry Bridge. And I know I wrote a letter of recommendation that, yes, this is the kind of project we would be willing to participate in. No guarantees, but but I know they're looking at state funding and it's a long term. I think they got money from I can't remember, but they got funding to do the design work from some other group. We've contributed nothing to it at this point, but they'll be knocking at our door next year or the year after.
Commissioner, we've actually have directed some people to try to get funding through that group. One of those coming in, we've been for playground equipment, and our budget for the cost of playground equipment doesn't match what our budget is, because you're talking $100,000 just for a small little project. So we've tried to direct some of them to actually go to that group, and I don't know how far they've gotten, but we've had requests for playground equipment, but that could eat up our whole budget for the whole year. So that's the part of Parks and Rec Board. We're mostly just rec board, so.
Yeah, you know,
Richard,
equipment.
that group is more set for outdoor rec on federal land.
That was federal.
You know, so that, and with that, there comes a lot of red tape. So yeah, it's difficult to have a good idea, but the process to get through the red tape, that environmental concerns and things like that can take years, and that's part of their biggest problem. But they do have quite a bit of money available.
We've actually helped a playground here at Cody, where it was a guy who was just doing mostly private funding coming in, and we paid for a portion of the equipment, but he actually raised enough money to get a playground. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Tim.
Yeah, that was a pretty cool thing that he took on there.
And it's well loved.
I guess if there's no question more, our budget is pretty straightforward. Basically same as last year. Just working with the treasurer last night, and our actuals for this year are going to come in a little under. We actually, it's a good thing for everything, but we had a surprise. We try to spend all of our budget. But the ball dispenser in Powell, we'd allocated a certain amount for it, and then when the final bill came, it was $1,000 less. So I just found out about that yesterday. So we're probably, our cash carryover is going to be rather than 500, it's probably gonna be more like 1,500. Not a lot in your overall budget, but
Every bit,
yeah, but it went in the right direction.
right? Any other questions? Well, we appreciate you coming in.
Okay, well, thanks for your time and good luck. You guys have a tough job.
Thank you for what you do.
Got back to the golf course.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, can we take a 5-minute?
Okay,
Just.
yeah,
5
we're gonna
minutes?
take a quick 5 minutes. I gotta grab my phone because I got a little emergency back here, but we'll be back here at 9:15.
Yeah, so we'll still stay on schedule, but just a night.
Yeah.
Did you post it? They ejaculates up this year.
And you're, that's the way you say. Oh, that's that 10-year period. Has some is.
Just temporary.
Yeah, cause I went in to pay it.
So page 33.
Good morning.
What do you want to do? What did you, 3,100 first, road bridge?
3,100.
It's the most exciting,
Okay.
so.
Is that page 33?
33. Yep. Most exciting.
Or scary.
Very involved.
Yeah, exciting or scary, depending on if you like roller coasters or. Okay,
Good, Brian.
good morning. I guess diving into the road bridge budget, the 3,100. I didn't think I'd go line by line unless there's something you guys want to look at specifically. I was gonna skip over all the, postage, training, all that, kind of jumping down to the fuel and gas. Does anybody have any questions for the items before fuel and gas?
It's back.
No.
Okay. With the fuel, obviously with the Middle East situation, it's always kind of a plan for the worst, hope for the best type thing. We're budgeted based on, $5 diesel, whether or not, we can improve on that. We'll see how that goes, but, looking at, where we actually come out last year, and where we're at today, we thought, we were going to try to lower it a little bit, but we figured we better plan for the worst. So we went ahead and left the fuel about where it's at. We've got our oil, fluids, lubricants and all that. Kind of dialed in, all that's coming in about right. But again, we left all three of those kind of high. Where are we at on actual on the diesel trip for this year?
It's 310 after the second.
Oh, 310. So, kind of keep in mind that really the prices didn't go up on the diesel till after the first of the year. So we had a half a year of lower prices. So we thought we better just keep that high, but hopefully we'll come in under that 310. So, okay. Any questions on any of the fuel related items? Okay. The next one, I guess I was going to touch on is the tires. I've got our mechanic in here with us, Jason. We were able to cut quite a bit on our tire budget. A lot of that's some of the investment we put into doing some of the repairs and he's buying a lot of tires bulk now and getting some good prices. But you can see for the last year, where we had actual on the tires this last year.
37.
37. So, we were quite a bit under budget for the current year on that. And so we went ahead and cut that back. Again, Jason's doing a lot of that, work in-house, both that and the repairs. And I think we're starting to see the benefits of that pay off. Any questions on tires?
Good.
Jason or Brian, there are some government and that government entities can buy tires through. Are you familiar with that? Have you checked
I
into it?
haven't checked into that, but we don't pay any taxes.
What's that?
We don't pay any of the taxes and we don't pay any of the FPTs, so we're getting pretty good prices as we are right now. They got
And we usually do get government discounts on things. We'll have to
But
make
if
sure
they're
you
not
are
a-
getting that.
I'll find out some more information on it. Are we buying them local or are you getting them
They're
where?
coming out of.
Okay. So I mean, I think the state of Wyoming has some. I'll find out more.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things we used to do with the sheriff's office is, we could go off a state bid. So we had them expensive tires, so the charges were like 310 a piece. We were getting for almost 180
Yep.
through that program.
Yep. Yeah.
Through
We'll-
YDOT.
Yeah, we'll look into that a little bit more. We usually try to get that because we usually get YDOT's prices on everything.
Tires in place, White House.
Yeah, that's what we usually get.
I just know we just got it for about half price. for
Yeah,
our sheriff's
And,
bid.
and we do. But we'll double check and see if there's something different that Commissioner Teal has. But
Yeah.
I think we try to capitalize on that on everything. The YDOT prices and then the government discount. One thing I guess I was going to point out after the tires, so on the safety equipment stuff, you see we blew our budget on that item in the current year. That was mainly we upgraded all of our first aid kits, both in road bridge and in solid waste.
And that's kind of where that's at. So we did blow that, but well, we raised it just a little bit, but we tried to be safe with everything. I think we're coming in under on our PPE and other things, so trying to leave the other items alone, but been staying pretty close to having those dialed in. Next thing, I guess, is the vehicle machinery equipment maintenance and repairs item. That was just always a real wild card. It depends on what breaks. What do you show us on an actual for that?
We've had some we've blown it.
We've blown it
327.
327. So
Over, but we've had several real major repairs this year.
one thing we're trying to do, I think I'd mentioned to you, we've got a few things like we have a tractor that some of the costs of the repairs are more than what the truck's worth. So we're trying to, that's one of the items we were looking to get a tractor to replace it. Jason's getting it band-aided together enough to where we can trade it or sell it. But we're trying to be smart with our expenditures to not put more into these equipment and vehicles than what they're worth. But it kind of goes back to just an example that if you're not, people, it's easy to look at our equipment expenditure on new equipment, renewals and replacements, and be critical of that. But when you're not doing that, it shows up in the maintenance and repairs. It just does. When you start getting past those hour marks and the wear and tear on the equipment, just the cost to repair anything is outrageous right now. And trying to do as much as we can in-house, but
Hey, Brian,
it's a big expense.
refresh my mind on them. Did the new dump trucks have issues this year that had to be fixed? Or was that last year?
None on our new ones. We had,
That's with Western starts with the PTO.
Hydraulic pumps on the
Yeah.
PTOs, that was like 3 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
no, I
it
think,
was an outfit problem.
Yeah, I knew that. I just didn't know if, all right, that's.
no, I think we got all
Okay.
that worked out now with that. No, that's a good memory, but any other questions on that? It's just expensive and things break. We got a lot of equipment, so.
But on I know with road and bridge and such, do you get like buildings and grounds? Billy was saying that he's got a side-by-side backfiring. They bring equipment in too.
They do. In fact, like Jason did, repaired their, actually Orin and Jason, but their water truck. So some of the other departments, not everything, but when we can and they have time, they will do it. And like with Billy's budget, or even if it's the landfill, they will actually reimburse. Like when we did the work for Billy for events, he paid, we kept track of our labor and the actual parts. Billy did reimburse the road and bridge for that.
Does he get a government discount?
No.
No. We just give him quality service.
Jason?
With a smile.
With a smile. But I think it's mainly, Jason, we do get some from some other departments too, but it's
Buildings and grounds.
buildings and grounds a little bit. Yeah. And they're the big users anyway, but some of the others like Sheriff, I think they do a lot of their own stuff. And okay. What else? Tools and installed equipment. Question? No.
Joy asked yesterday when we were talking to her about her budget with the planning and zoning vehicle, whether that could be an oil change and stuff done through the county shop rather than taking it out. So I guess that's something to talk about with her, but if that's a possibility, it may save some.
And a lot of
Breaks, it was breaks.
Yeah, breaks.
Issues. Yeah.
We try to, and when somebody does need it, we can do that, especially if it's not like
Okay.
an enterprise fund where they,
Right.
where it's all part of the same budget.
Right.
It's really a matter of what all else we have going with, if they could schedule ahead of time, it really helps. We do have some, a guy in our POW crew that's doing mechanic and helping Jason, so that helps a lot, but
I'll just have Joy check with you.
yeah, just have to check it, because if we can squeeze it in, Jason's done it before, and he'll try to do it when he can.
Okay.
Okay, tools and installed equipment. We had some substantial things that we upgraded and did in our current budget in fiscal year 26. And so we were able to drop that down quite a bit. There were some fairly substantial things that we got taken care of, but we're able to cut that this year by 20,000, so pretty happy about that. I think you're sitting pretty good, aren't you, Jason, with most tools and installed equipment? Any questions on any of that? Okay, going into the road materials, which is the big part of our dollars, or a good part of our dollars. Thing to point out on that chip oil, when you look at that and why did that fall from current year to what we're showing in the budget there by 800,000. You got to look at that item and the one that's down there under road materials Title One, chip oil down below. And it's because last year we didn't budget any and didn't receive any Title One, Title Three money. We did get it this year, and so budgeting for that. We usually will work with Barb when that money comes in, but you have to basically add those together. So if you're wondering why that dropped so much, that's what that is. And chip oil is always a bit tricky because it'll actually, we lock in prices in January, February, and we'll use it for this upcoming budget year. It'll get used in July. So that's what we're budgeted for, is this summer's chip oil.
Okay.
Any questions with that? And again, those prices are locked in based on what we get. The good thing is we locked in on the prices before everything blew up in the Middle East. So we did get some good pricing on that. Let's see what else. We did drop our tack oil a little bit by about 3,000. We're just not doing as much of that type of work. We're, based on past use, I think we look like we could cut that a little bit. The road striping, what we did there is we're way behind on striping. We've got several, 3DX, Diamond Basin, Sage Creek.
You striped out to his house.
I know this guy. No, we've been getting them. There's several, the center lines are marked, and we just weren't able to get them in time to get it paid this budget.
Well, I thought we were getting cheap because I go out there and about every 10 feet, there's an orange stripe with a spray can.
A little bit.
Thinking, we're getting cheap here.
Sage Creek Road's the same way across.
Mark in our transition. Yeah, Sage Creek, Diamond Basin. Yeah. And then we had a call on Diamond Basin too, that we need to get that one too. But anyway, that all we're really doing there is rolling the money we didn't use from last year. And like I say, we are way behind on striping. So we've got a lot to do there with that. What's the next major one? Same thing on the cold mix. Not using as much on that. So we did cut that back by 2,500.
And we really don't buy cold. That's basically bag patch material for potholes is all that is.
Yeah, we're doing a lot more hot mix patching, hot patching. We do keep some of that bag patch just for the winter for a pothole here, pothole there kind of thing, but we're not using a lot of that.
Brian, for the after the irrigation district finished up with the stuff on Road 10, there's still like gravel out there. Do they ask you to do the work, or?
We're working together on that. Ben's
Yeah,
here.
we're scheduled for like 2 more weeks from now, but we work with them on that one,
Do they reimburse us for anything,
not
or?
on the patch. They did everything else.
Yeah. Probably should. We'll leave that alone. The hot mix, the $600,000 that we've budgeted. What that is we are using a little bit less than we usually do. We usually use 8,000 tons of hot mix. We cut that back to 6,000. Trying to be a little more frugal with where we're patching. Trying to be a little more purposeful and not do the super long patches. That's what happens with hot patching. Sometimes you end up with long patches to try to make your transitions, but we're working with the road bridge foreman to try to dial those in a little bit. So that's what that is. Cut quite a bit of money out of that. Also, a big part of that cut is we had some Green Creek money in there to pave that. And we have not included any money for Green Creek paving in this budget.
Okay.
So,
You said for paving. We may be doing some of the culverts.
yeah, and we really don't have much in the way of anything for Green Creek.
Yeah,
There's really nothing. I think we could probably absorb to do some, yeah, in like some pit runs, some crushed gravel, maybe some culverts.
Okay.
Just in terms of out of our inventory and
Regular?
whatnot.
Okay,
So yes, the mag chloride work, if we could get some gravel on it. So we'd like to do some work there because our road bridge crew, Chip, I don't know if Chip's here, he's not, but they're having to go grade that all the time, you know, instead of our every 2 years. I mean, we get weared out with calls and I'm sure you do too. So some work there is needed, for sure. But that's kind of the reason that's gone down though. We cut some of that out. Let's see, the next one is the chips, that 700,000. We're set up now for 2 years of chips in Powell, which in our current budget, we got that taken care of. And then so we'll use up the remaining chips that we have in the Cody district this summer. And so this is to produce this next winter another 2 years, which we're planning on crushing or chipping in Clark next summer. We'll be chip sealing down in the Matisse area this summer. You know, but that'll set us up good to where we will have enough chips here for at least the next 2 years in Cody, and same thing in Powell will be sitting pretty good. So that's what that money's for. We try to do 2 years worth because we get better volume based pricing when we get material crushed. It takes a lot of money to mobilize in a crusher. So we try to do that, but you can't do too many years because the chips get fouled and dirty and which really makes for not a good chip seal. So we try to do that. The next one, that pit run material, it just stayed the same. How much did we use of that one?
I think we have,
Because
oh no,
we did
we bought jaw run, we
Yep.
blew it.
That's what I was thinking.
Because
Okay.
we bought jaw run down from the TT out of that.
Ben just confirming because we're having to buy pit run almost at crushed gravel prices now. That's the main thing. What we're going to use that mainly in Powell.
Yeah.
Powell, yeah. Yeah, so it's pricey. Hopefully we won't use it, but we'll see how that goes. The next one, I guess, of any significance on that dust control item. A little piece of paper here to see. Okay. Yeah, this is, I guess, just an FYI. Trapper and I talked about this morning, but I didn't talk to Ben about it. This we may not use. It's just kind of tell you a story is that we ended up getting quite a bit of Title III money that we weren't expecting. And we're going to plan on using that mag chloride for Sunlight Basin, South Fork, and all that's got to be on forest access roads.
Okay.
So there's certain roads we use that on, and those are high dollar roads, but the mag chloride goes a long way on roads like that. So with that, and then we're applying for CMAQ money from the state. And so there's a whole separate budget where we've got that 100,000 in there, but we may not get that. You know, we didn't get any last year. It was partly due to an error on our part, but so I guess what I'm saying is, I don't know if you agree, Ben, but if we get that 100 grand from CMAQ plus the Title III, we may not use this 100 grand here. Sure. So whether we want to not put it in there and just
I think we should.
hope we get to
You'll use
CMAQ.
part of it though, won't you, Brian, because even the CMAQ isn't it a partial?
Well, there's a whole nother budget where we have the CMAQ expense and then the CMAQ revenue that's totally separate from this. So that 100 grand's in there twice is what I'm saying. And
but if we don't get the CMAQ.
if we don't get the CMAQ, we will
You're gonna
need
have to use it out of here.
this. Yeah.
Okay.
So it just, I guess, 100 grand sitting there though, so we know about it, but
When do they award the CMAQ? Like, when do they decide on the CMAQ?
August, yeah. Well, I think we're gonna get it. I feel pretty good. You know, we have a good shot, whether we get all of it or not. You know, it's very competitive.
It's up to 100 grand. And they get,
Yeah,
like-
it's 120 worth, but they'll match 20%.
We can apply for more, but typically when we apply for more, we get dialed back.
Yeah.
Because they divvy it all up based on applications awarded. They typically, if we apply for 150, we might get 120 or 130, we might get 100. So we're kind of anticipating we'll probably apply for more than that and anticipating that.
Getting 100.
So if we were to do, if we say we weren't gonna give it, we wouldn't actually be doing it until next spring anyway, right?
We're gonna try to do some this fall this year because, and I know it's dry and it's not a great time to do it, but don't you think, man, we'll try to do some this fall. We did quite a bit in the Powell area this spring.
Meaning it would be after we know whether we get to see.
September.
Correct. It'd be after we do, yeah. Yeah.
So, I know it's a good thing, but I'm highlighting it just
Yeah.
because if it comes
If,
down.
if you get it, if you get in trouble, that would be one to kind of think about, but as Commissioner Till will attest, I mean, we see the benefits of using that, especially our higher volume gravel roads. It's, money well spent, so.
Well, and we're getting a lot of complaints with this
We
dry
are.
as it is this year. We're getting a ton of calls, like our roads are just quick as we grade them, they're coming apart. So
Dusty.
Very true. Let's see, hot mix chips, crushed gravel.
Man.
Yeah, the sand, because we're gonna be producing some chips probably in the Clark area. We'll be able to get some sand from that operation. We are actually sitting okay on the sand we do have, so I think we dialed that back quite a bit there. So I think we're sitting okay on sand. We try to cut when we can, believe it or not. Cattle guards, speaking of not cutting, I'd like to, and I don't know if I told Steve this, that 50 grand, what I've got in there, I thought
75.
you got it to 75 now?
Mhm.
Okay, that's perfect. Because I underestimated, we talked about the cattle guards for the Powell Airport. And so by the time we purchased those are about 17 grand a piece. And then there's some paving involved with fixing those, or some fence work. So if we have that at 75, we'll be able to have one that we could use on the Cody side of things. We could do the 2 cattle guards at Powell. And I think that'll about use that up. Everybody's okay with that. But the cattle guards for the Powell Airport, that's been an ongoing issue for several years, and we'd like to get it knocked out. Because we hear about it, and I know you do too, quite a bit. Let's see, seeding, we kind of left alone, but we don't really.
Tree trimming.
Yeah, tree trimming, we've got a lot of needs there. We did, what do you got that at, Steve? 50 still?
100.
Oh, you got 100. We almost have about as much tree trimming. We just have a bunch of that. So we did try to step that up a little bit more. We got County Road 2EC, South Fork, several places where we've got a lot of need there. I mean, we won't use it unless we have to, but the other thing we've run into is if you just do a little bit of tree trimming, you're competing with the power line companies and utilities, and we can't get people to do it. And so we gotta try to do bigger projects to where we can get a lot of that done.
Are those complaint driven projects?
A lot of it's complaint driven, but some of it is more, it's a safety thing. It's a line of sight thing. We've got some in the Powell area. We try to do some ourselves, like Tommy and our sign crew. We try to do what we can, tree trimming, but it's a line of sight thing a lot of times. Trees actually hanging out into the road, or sleepers that when we get a storm, they fall into the road. And when we don't keep up with that, we have a lot of calls about that kind of thing.
Does our crew do some trimming too?
They do.
they do. A lot of this actually goes to like those really big cottonwoods. It doesn't take long to, like 10 grand to lead up one cottonwood, getting it like it's expensive.
Yeah, we try to work with the landowners too. Sometimes it's one that's right on the property line, or it's on their property, but that's out in the right of way. So we try to push that back on the landowners when we can, and work together with them, but that's not always possible, but that's what we try to do. Let's see. Miscellaneous, I don't know if that, we ended up.
Miscellaneous jumped a bunch.
And we ended up, what do you got in there now, Steve? Like a little. So we tried to, like your lane 5. Oh, that's what it was. We We may want to move that, Steve, down to the contract services as well, because what that is, there's two projects. There's the,
I think we're doubled up here.
we might be doubled up. You already moved the lane 5, which was 296,000, that culvert repair. Steve helped us. We've got an item down below that's highlighted in yellow, that contract services.
Mhm.
We put that 196,000 there. And then if we put the, what was it, 350?
Yeah.
350 for Willwood.
For Willwood, and that's because we'll get to it in a sec, our county road fund's gonna go to South Fork. So we gotta have some money in there to do our culverts for Willwood Phase 2 this fall, but that item right there, the miscellaneous could probably be,
What is it at right now, Steve? 350. 350.
yeah, that 350 could go down.
Should go down to contract services.
Yeah.
Yeah, I messed you up on that, Steve.
So that should be 0 and move to 350.
Yeah, let's make
So
that,
it should be almost 550, right?
Do you still want 10 in miscellaneous like you've had in
once
the
you,
past?
once you put 10 up on the top, just for, because there is always is little miscellaneous things, but the big things were those lane 5 culverts and Willwood culverts.
So that's 546, correct? Yes. Sorry, my eyes are.
Yeah, mine too.
So the 196 included lane? I got confused there.
The 196 is just the lane 5.
196.
What, yeah, 196 plus 350. Those are those two projects.
Which one was Willwood?
Both of them, lane 5 and Willwood, down under contract services, the other one.
And that used to be, there was an item there that we used in the past for like Squaw Creek when we had the landslide up there. That was kind of like when needed. And Steve and I, we worked together in Trapper we changed that over to contracted project services because, there is emphasis, we're trying to contract more out, of projects when we can to the private sector. And so when we're doing those and not paying for them out of the county road fund, we need a place to put them, and that's where we were gonna try to put that money, if that makes sense. So
46. Okay.
So anytime we're doing projects that we can't pay for out of our county road fund, we'll just put them right there.
So, Mr. Chair, Steve, what's that then, the total of that line? I can't read it.
Contract services? 546.
540.
546. Right.
So that took road materials miscellaneous down to 10.
Right.
Yes. Good catch. Making money.
I have more notes on this budget.
This one's always a mess. Okay. Any other questions on that? And then down below, we talked about the Title I money. I know Barb, I don't know if she's still in here, but the Title I, Title III is very complicated. I think we've been working closely with Barb on that. Whether we get it sometimes or we don't, and how you budget for it and you plan for it, it's really a tricky thing.
Okay.
What we're putting there is based on the manual, so we're budgeting on the manual moving forward. And we'll try to wait to spend that until Barb gives us some assurances that we got it. But we do, that is the way you're supposed to budget for it, so it's how we're doing it.
Brian, really quick, will you just remind me, the Title I and Title III, they're federal dollars.
They are,
Right.
they're secure rural schools. It's that's through the Forest Service, Forest Reserve, they call it. And there's Title I, Title II, and III. Barb would have to tell you, but we don't even touch or mess with that. Title I is could go to materials and has less restrictions on it. The Title III has to go to federal land access type roads. We have to spend it on that.
Okay.
And that's gonna be the mag chloride is what we were.
Yeah, we were
Okay.
gonna burn that up on mag
And
chloride.
226 of that is actually carryover that we didn't expend. We didn't know we were gonna get it, so we actually got it this year, so it's carrying over. And then 50 is the manual projection for next year, so that's what we're going off of in that number.
When you're saying manual, like they just must give you a formula?
Yeah, there's a book that they send to all the counties that they help you project for budgeting of what they think that dollar amount's gonna be for Title I, Title III. And I think it's usually pretty good, but we've had issues like what happened last year. We weren't supposed to get any, like we skipped a year, we ended up getting the money this current year, the budget we're in. We weren't planning on getting anything, but we got money. So sometimes it lags a year and it really messes us up on the budget.
Yeah.
And like I say, we have a tracking of it spreadsheet and you have to keep up with it. We have to report it once a year, and show that it's been obligated and how it's used. So it's got a pretty good tracking on it, but it really becomes tricky because you never know whether you're going to get it or not.
But you don't
And-
have to send back what hasn't been expended.
No, as long as you obligate it and you've got a few years to use it.
Okay.
So as long as and that's why we try to keep up with it and use it, but you've got like 4 or 5 years to use it. So we try to use it as we get it. So we don't burn too much, but sometimes it lags over a couple of years. That's what happens.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so sometimes it won't match the manual exact because like Trapper said, there'll be some carryover. It's very confusing, but I think we got a handle on it. Other items, leases and rentals, we weren't expecting anything, so we cut that back. We talked about the contracted project services. Again, those are things that we plan on, or the lane 5 one actually is scheduled to start after the 4th of July weekend, so contractors on board for that under contract. And then the Willwood project will be this fall. And that again is kind of an ongoing, that'll set us up for once we have enough money in the county road fund, we can do the phase 2 major improvements on Willwood, which is a big project, but that'll set us up for that. But again, those are all using outside labor and equipment to complete that work. What else we got? Big items, I guess, though we cut our culverts back a little bit from 75 to 50 grand. We are sitting pretty good. Ben does a good job. Ben Trapper, they got us our inventory stacked back up, so we're sitting pretty good. So we if we were to pad a little bit for Green Creek, that might be a place to do it, but
A question on your bridge maintenance, do they have a specific?
we do. We've had a couple things that we've been carrying, and that's where you see we didn't use a whole lot of that in the current year. We've got the bridge that we're wanting to replace, but it's got a lot of scour issues, the one on Bitter Creek. There's another one too,
We got
but
2 up there, there's one on lane 7 and one on lane 9. Lane 7, we kind of picked back every couple of years, but we have scour.
You follow what you did in the last 3 years.
it's really that we had been able to get to it to get it done.
Try to
But
get a contract.
but it is a need. WIDOT's on us to get those bridges fixed because we do have some scour issues. And I might say on one of those bridges, I guess separate note, we are applying for funding that we talked about. It's called the Bridge Investment Program. It's one of our top 5 worst rated bridges over on the county line on the east side on lane 9 over Bitter Creek. Ben's been working on that a lot, and hopefully we can get that funding, but it's a direct federal, and so it's a major hassle to even get the funding. Ben's questioning whether it's worth it, and I have to agree with him. Any other questions on 31? Oh, I guess on the equipment, I forgot the big one.
I was gonna go back up one minute,
Yeah.
Brian.
Dawson.
Maybe you just said this and I missed it, but we talked about the guardrail thing for a minute and you were over last year. You were at 47. You're only budgeting 30. Did you get a lot of that done?
We
Okay.
did. In fact, part of that, we had a lot of damage
Right.
where some guardrail got damaged a lot down in the Mateats area. One of them was a restitution where they paid for it, but we're now caught up. We're sitting pretty good on guardrails. Ben, don't you agree?
Sure.
I think we're sitting good, but
Yeah, one on Willwood that kind of popped out and then kind of submarine the whole thing was somebody knocked all of it, and it was oil filled pipe guardrail, so it's pretty bad in the first place, but that took a big chunk of
Okay.
what we did.
As long as you don't think you'll need it. Okay.
no, I think we'll be okay. Hopefully that's good. So then another big ticket item, and again, this is one that I always try to emphasize. We're working with Steve on how this is presented for the public benefit, just because it looks like a huge number, which it is a huge number. Then when you see 2 million of equipment, so of that is about 1,600 or 1.6 million of that is our 4 John Deere graders that are on buyback. So there's an offsetting on the revenue side of about 1.3, I think it is. We'll see that in a minute. But so I guess I just remind you that it's not as bad as it looks because there's offsetting trades and revenue on that. Same thing on in that dollar amount is the 4 graders at about 400,000 each. One tractor at about 220,000. And again, we do have a pretty big need right now. Jason's trying to Band-Aid a tractor together, so we are kind of hurting on that right now. So that one is a pretty substantial need that we've got to do.
Ryan?
Yeah.
When you say tractor, you're talking like when you mow with it.
Oh, semi tractor.
okay.
Yeah, semi tractor. I guess I should say that different. That we use to haul around our belly dump trailers. You know, I think we're sitting in pretty good shape on all our dump trucks right now, as far as trying to keep them turned over and you know, with our trade-ins and everything on that, I think we're sitting pretty good, but we do need that tractor semi pretty badly. On the another item that we've got in there, and Jason can explain this a little better. This is a wish. It goes back to very similar to the tire program that we've done. We've got in there a service truck for about $200,000, which I know that's a big ticket item. We have an issue like with a lot of the things and repairs that we do, especially on the Cody side of things. We're not really equipped to do some of the heavier mechanicing type work. Where we do have a pretty good lift in the PAL side of things, but our plan, if we could get a service truck, this is very much like what the bus program uses. A lot of the trucking companies have them, but a lot of what Jason does, it's in the field, or it's you know, it's some of the heavy things that he's kind of limited on what he can do. And Jason, do you want to weigh in a little better on that?
So at the Cody shop, you really don't even have to crane and pull a hood off the vehicle, to be honest with you. I mean, you have to either use skid steer or loader, takes multiple guys to do it. Whereas if we have the appropriate truck, one guy could do the whole thing by himself. And so say I'm getting into a job and it's a needing a head or something. Can't pull the head, so then if we wanted to, we'd either have to put it back together, load it up, take it to the pallet shop. It just creates a lot more issues, but yeah, we technically don't have any sort of crane at all in the Cody shop right now. So if we were to get a truck like this would eliminate needing a crane installed. And so like the crane at the pallet shop, when that shop was built, was $42,000. And nowadays that would already be over $100,000, I would say.
Yeah.
So this truck would in theory take the place of needing a stationary crane, plus we could use it in the field to do repairs.
And our plan was to also that if Jason were to get that, we would move his truck, which he's got equipped pretty good now. That's basically more of a utility truck that would go to Powell, and then Orrin, our other mechanic slash Jason's right-hand man over there, that he could then take on what Jason has now, which is equipped pretty well. But yeah, that's I guess a wish list. I think it would pay for itself in terms of, you see what it costs when we have to do a lot of the heavy stuff outside
it's
the
I
included in
think
it.
too, that with the amount of equipment that we have in the buildings that we have invested, it makes sense.
Yeah,
And have some kind of maintenance.
The truck that we currently have now is a 2010, 2011 year, and we've had it in service that long. And we only technically, you know, we don't try to put extra miles on this truck. That truck's 11 years or 2010, and that's just over 100,000. So we try to keep the miles off those trucks because we don't want to use it too much, but when we do use them, we need them.
Right.
But I mean, that if we were to get this truck, we'll technically stay in fleet for 15 years or so, 20 years.
Well,
I
guess
think
getting back to that whole road going in the shooting complex, if you got equipment breaking down out there that you
got to load and haul.
look how long that stuff sat there.
yeah. And if you have to load it up and haul it somewhere, or you know, it costs a fortune to do it. So
So that number is included in
that's
it.
included in that number. Yeah.
And it was 200.
200,000 and part of the trucks, like half of that Jason was showing me, but there's a lot of other things that's got to go with it.
So the chassis itself ranges between 80 to 90,000. Chassis, and then the bed, crane, everything else on it makes up the difference. And that's with the 5,000 to 8,500 pound crane.
It just goes back to having the right piece of
And you're not
equipment
talking,
to
you're
manage our
not
truck.
talking 1 ton, obviously, we're talking a
No.
ton or 3 ton.
No, not quite a 2 ton. It would be like an F550, F650. Right.
So that's,
If we wanted to get into that next size, we would be at least $100,000 more.
Right.
So
baby steps.
Baby steps.
Sure, but then going back just slightly, the graders, what's the exercise in that buyback like year?
We're doing the 2-year buyback on it, and that's where and like I say, it only works on the John Deere's.
John, that's
That's why we didn't buy any last year, because our cats now we're on year 3, I think. 3, where we were gonna try to hold on to them 5 years at least. And so they don't pencil out as good. And so we'll see. We're working with Steve here to go ahead and get these bid out like right now, so that before this budget's finalized late July, we will know whether or not we can offset that, because it gets real complicated. That if CAT gets it, then basically there's some money that changes hands. It's got to go back to RDO to pay for the John Deere's, and it looks weird on the budget. So we're trying to get that figured out.
Just depends on how the bids come in, on whether it's a revenue
Yeah,
expense.
but I knew we were.
Or just the
we were
net
gonna go
expense on it.
Possibly even like a 5-year buyback on the newer cats, and which one, couldn't remember where we were at.
Yeah, because
So
you are correct.
We may go, depending where the bids come in, we may get, even John Deere may come up, it may pencil to a 5-year on the
Yeah.
next deal, but these were scheduled for the 2. That's what I was asking.
Yeah, and for the time that I've been with the county, about 12 years, that the John Deere's has been a good thing on that buyback. It's the way it pencils out. It's been, as Commissioner Till had said, you can't afford not to do it almost, because it's that good of a deal. But there was the year where there was the change over to RDO, and I don't want to say they got greedy, but the pricing wasn't as favorable, and CAT ended up getting in there. So could happen again. You never know. So we always bid it out and see how it looks, and that's been more and more competitive. So we'll see how that goes. I guess the other things that are in that number, if you're tallying it up, we did have you see that we have those message board signs that we've got 2 of those now. And we're looking, get a little older, and you not necessarily need to replace them, but wanting to add to that. We use those a lot, especially summertime. But we're wanting to there's one that actually fits in the bed of a truck that you see YDOT using. And there's 15,000 in for that. That was kind of a 15,000.
Okay.
Yeah. That was our Tommy, our sign tech wish list for construction season. They are very handy. And then this was a Ben wish list, and I think he's right. A grout or a grader retriever, and that's for 25,000. And what that is it's basically hooks to our motor graders, and they're able to pull the gravel back out of the ditches. We think that'll pay for itself pretty quickly. A lot of the other counties that we work with across the state, they use them and kind of rave on them. It's something that we, have not done here, and are getting by without it. But I think just in terms of being able to pull back and use it takes the gravel and sifts out the material that's not any the grass, the dirt, the clods get sifted out of that, and the gravel gets pulled back onto the road. So I think just a more efficient use of our crushed gravel base, which at $10 a ton, pays for itself.
How much was that?
Pretty quickly. And so
25?
25,000. I think eventually, if this works like everybody, the other counties that we're talking to, if it works like we think, I could see us having one of those in Powell and one in Cody if we get to that point. But
Okay.
That's Ben's Christmas present.
That does mount on the Balderson. I know you had some.
What's that?
I saw your face when we were talking about it. It mounts on the Balderson hitch on the front where our angle plows mount. And then it works off the same hydraulics, and as you're driving, you can lay it down farther or pick it up. And then it has an auger that pulls the material back up onto the road, and then as you're driving, you're blading it out.
Right. Oh, yeah.
I did like-
Yeah, and like I said, I've seen them used in other places and the counties that are using them say that it really pays.
I do, Mr. I do have one other question. Where are we gonna, where do signs come in?
Signs, did I skip over that?
Sign, like sign material.
Yeah, where did
Put them in here.
that's
Yeah,
why I did.
it's in
Oh, I thought we-
1442.
Yeah.
So are we going to that now?
Yeah, let's go to 1442.
17 On our stuff.
Okay, yeah, 1442. Same thing, trying to not get too much in the weeds. We did cut our
17.
17.
17.
Yeah, it's the 1442 county engineering budget.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
So I guess the first, not much to talk about on postage. On the cell phone, we did cut that a little bit, mainly because there's kind of talk about whether or not the cell phones may go up, but we did drop two phones that we're not using as much. So trying to be purposeful about that. So anyway, we cut that by about 500, I think. We did kick up the advertising a little bit, and that kind of gets back into when we advertise, like we advertise for the Lane 5 project, we do advertise in both papers. The more we're advertising for outside projects, it's just a cost that goes with that. So that's why we stepped that up a little bit. Because we will have we'll have the Willwood project coming up that we'll have to advertise. And just turnover of staff, we're going to have, at least one person probably retired through this next year. So just replacing staff, things like that. So trying to have enough in there for that. Next thing I guess I highlighted there is the sign supplies, which is fairly substantial. You can see we always blow our budget on that. We're trying to get our inventory dialed in. Signs are just really expensive now too. But we're trying to get our inventory dialed in a little better to where we can keep track of where we're at and not getting so far behind where we have to do a big purchase like which we just did. So part of the sign budget, I mean, what do you got in there, Steve? 55 grand? 55 grand.
See where you blew it though.
You blew it the year before.
This year, we're at 54 and it's 40.
There's a bill in the
It's
third,
just 40 and there's-
there's a bill in the third round that's not included.
It was kind of a deal where I was talking like we were going to move it and put it in this next budget.
Mhm.
So that's why we blew it. I still think it was probably better to go ahead and get it paid and pay it out of this budget. Yeah,
This year.
No,
We just did it.
We approved it yesterday.
yeah.
So it's in this
It
year.
is a pretty good bill. It puts us back into good shape on our inventory, but
Mhm.
and there's some things too. I mean, Tommy gets questions, but there's things that's, I forget the name of it, what they call it, but the visibility on the signs as they fade and things with that, he's got to keep them replaced, and he's got a piece of equipment he uses it's this reflectometer. That was the word I was trying to think of it, that it's got to maintain a certain standard there, which again, it's just pricey. We got, I don't know how many Trapper all across the county, thousands of signs,
Oh, Newman.
6,500 signs. And it's probably one of our hardest or most difficult budget items to keep a tab on. But we're trying to dial it in the best we can, but yeah, it's just expensive.
Okay.
What was the other item here?
Added 3,000 to fuel.
Yeah, and that one, same thing, that one might be a little high. We'll see how that goes. That's our fuel for engineering. We can see how that goes. Again, it's just trying to plan for the worst and hope for the best, but you can see what we use this year, right now, 70.
That's gonna be
11.
a little low because we just did a.
Well, you just did
journal entry,
it.
So that'll be up about another 1,000.
12, okay.
So like I say, it might be a little high by 3,000 or 4,000, but we'll see how it goes.
Okay.
If you were looking to cut, we could probably trim that a little bit.
There you go, Lloyd.
Oh, not pretty much.
Okay, now we get into some of the funner items on our budget. So down at towards the bottom there on the, professional surveying services, we've got, as you know, we've got the state easement issue that's all of our county roads that cross, state lands, which we figured about 30 of them there been, that we're working on that. We've got so much time to get that done. There's talk about whether there'll be some funding from the state to get some of that done, but it involves a licensed surveyor to do a lot of that work. And so we put in there 50,000 for that to try to start chipping away at that, because we're a little concerned we don't want to get to because if you don't get them done by a certain date, once you get them done, it's done forever.
Right.
But so we don't want to get in a place where we have to try to get all of them done and bog down a surveyor. So we're wanting to chip some of it this year. And then I think we would try to do a little bit more the next year was our plan. But we got 50,000 in for that. We've also got a need, a lot of our county road plot maps need to be updated to pick up all of our vacations, alterations and things like that, which is take a little outside assistance on getting those updated. Again, it's not anything we have to do today. By state statutes, we're supposed to get those and update those as we go. Since I've been here, it has not been done ever. And so it's something that needs to be done.
2006 was the last.
Yeah, 2006 was the last time it was done. And like I say, it's kind of falls back on me that it's part of my, we're required to keep those up to date. And that's the record of any new roads, vacations or alterations. So again, we've got 30,000 in for that. So 50,000 was the state easements, 30,000 for the plot map updates.
Brian, how many state easements were there? Did you say 30?
There's like
Hey, Brian, that was dialed down to about 10. We got quotes from 2 different companies here for that, but there was 30 in the original list and it's down to 9 or 10.
because some of them they had information already. They had easements and
Easements.
survey information already on some of them.
But they accepted what was on flat maps.
Oh.
So
Okay.
out of the 30, we have 10 that we actually have.
Yeah, we did get estimates from the surveyors in town and Ben did it. And so that's where that number comes from. What else? So on the next item on the professional engineering services, we did, we have a little bit of material testing, which is anytime we produce any materials, we get gradations and proctors and things like that for the road materials that we use. That we contract that out to one of the local engineering testing companies. So we got a little bit of money in there for that, about 10,000-ish, which is consistent with what we've do previously. We are getting some materials made this year, so we will need that. And I guess the bigger part of that is we have about $40,000, which would be the engineering side of the Willwood project, which would be the culverts.
Okay. Yep.
Can you explain?
Yeah, and what that is, like I say, normally we'd pay for these out of our county road fund. It's just we'll get into that in a sec, but we're gonna tap our county road fund again and paying for our flat phase 2 project
On the south.
on the south fork. So that's we're trying to cover those in our the Willwood in our regular operating budget this year, which is a bit of a challenge, but that's what that is. Any questions on that, on the surveying or engineering?
So Brian, when we go back up to road petitions and vacations, because we've had a couple of those. And they're at 0, but you're saying that would be in. Most of that though is the advertising and stuff for that is paid by the person.
It is. And we do have one hanging out there that I think that's probably where that would go. That's that one in Garland that I think the clerk's office is still waiting for that deposit from them, I believe. Correct. And so, which we figure if they get in a hurry and want to get it vacated, they'll come in and get their deposit paid. But yeah, usually there's either the private, the public can petition and do a vacation or alteration, and we try to get them to pay for that. And we're allowed to do that by state statute when it doesn't really benefit the county or the public as a whole. But then if the county initiates it, there'd be some fees associated. That's what that item's really for.
Okay,
And we-
so
we
the ones
just-
we've had have been the private and they pay for the viewer and the advertising.
Exactly. And Ben and I have numerous, I'm going to say half a dozen of those that are for county roads that we have to get done. A lot of that work has already, that has been done as far as third-party costs, that some of the surveying work, that it'll be internal on myself and Ben probably to get that done. That we've got several of those hanging out there. So again, I guess they'd be internal costs for being bid. I guess the last item, that's becoming a pretty big problem for us. What's in that item on other professional services? We've got an issue, a little bit like I think what the clerk's office had to go through a few years ago, but we've got records dating back to the 1900s. And got a whole back room full of boxes and boxes back from Commissioner Overfield was there. Boxes and boxes of original road records, road information, plans, things like that. And we've got a paper tiger kind of a system that we've tried to use to where you, if you go to try to find something, you go to this paper tiger and you go to which box in this drawer, and but it's getting where those things, they're off by, where sometimes, a lot of times we can't find what it is we're looking for. And so we're having to go back to those records a lot and spending a lot of time searching through boxes and boxes of information. So we got an estimate. We talked to like 3 different outfits that scan and code, so it would be searchable documents to where we could basically have everything. It can be available for public as well, but any of our road records dating back to the beginning of time, and we could completely clean out our back room and get rid of and basically have everything digital. But we've got 30 grand in there to do that. And again, we got 3 different estimates, and it's not just scanning. It's, we're talking thousands and thousands and thousands of pages of documents. Some of it's oversized, D-size, large drawings. But then it's all coded too, so it's searchable, which would be pretty good. But again, it's kind of a wish list thing, 30,000. And then the other part of that dollar amount in the budget, that 40,000, is we have a water situation, water crisis, where we're getting held back on our water permits with as dry as it's been. And so a lot of our water haul permits with the state are needing to be updated, and each one of those been runs what
$50.
Oh, $50. But we've got them all over the county. And then plus there's part of that, we're wanting to get permanent water rights in like a handful of locations, because what happens is because we don't have a permanent right, we're the last ones that we get cut right away if there's a shortage. And we need the water when we're maintaining and grading gravel roads. If you don't have water, you're in trouble. And we're already struggling with that. And we've been not thrown in jail, but close a few times down in Meeteetse and other places because we're not allowed to get water. So
Yeah, I think some of that's your gravel pit, stormwater stuff too.
yeah. Oh, that's right. Oh, I said water haul, but yeah, there's some water haul's part of it, but there's same thing on our stormwater permits. Now those are $500 a piece. Those are pricey.
And Brian, and I can say one thing, on that digitizing these things and doing that, we did it with the sheriff's office years ago. And what we did is the company, it was expensive, like you say, but they gave us 2 copies. So we had 2 different separate copies in case one got damaged. One went into the vault we used, and then we took all the hard copies to the Wyoming archives and emptied our whole back room.
That's what we want to do. We will clean out a pretty big room.
It's amazing when you
amazing.
digitize that stuff. It's expensive, but it's well worth it, and getting rid of all the paper stuff to the archives.
And you'd be surprised how much you go back and try to get all that too, especially the public. It's a question on a road, and when it was established, or is it a county road or is it not? All those records date back a long time ago.
I think that's the bigger thing, is the time that you spend having to look for things. Your time is valuable in all of these things for you guys. And, I don't mind so much not cleaning out the back room as I do you spending hours trying to find things. That's kind of a waste of time if we can digitize it and get it ready for you.
Well, the other thing is too, that somebody comes in or calls and you got it within about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And we'll see where we end up with what we're doing with the county transportation plan, which we'll talk about here in a sec. And I guess trying to get to where everything is, we've got tons and tons and tons of information, but just available for the public, having more of that information available for the public when they need it. is I think a good thing, but that's it on 1442 unless there's any questions.
But we better keep rolling.
Okay.
Solid waste?
Well, before we go too far, let's see, on the 3130,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Which is page 34.
um, I guess just to highlight, see if there's any questions there. That's where we've got the 218,000 there. That's the tap. That's the remaining part of the transportation, the bike walking thing we've got in Powell. Whether we end up using all of that's probably not going to happen, but that's basically what's left over. We'll be wrapping that up here in the next few months. So it's the one down, it's called, it's on 3130, but it's the transportation alternatives expense down like the fourth from the bottom.
Oh, I see it.
But that's, like I say, there's a good chance that won't all get used, but that is what's left in our grant for that. EA's done a good job and we're well under budget on that. And there's that 100,000 I was telling you on the CMAC. See what I mean? That 100,000 that could be really considered a duplicate. Then if we get that 100,000 right there, the other one wouldn't be used. There's another place where the revenue, where they, there's I think it's an $80,000 offset that's revenue that if we get the grant, it would offset these expenses. And then you can see the Safe Routes SS4A grant. That's 360,000. We won't use all that this year, but a good part of it we'll start using that this next budget year.
That's the JUB project.
JUB project under contract, and we're
Is that the
working with it.
one by the middle school? Is that the,
No,
which one?
it's not the middle school project. That's done.
No, this is the countywide transportation safety plan. It's federal grant
that's
right
good.
through the federal.
Yep.
And I think it's going to be a good thing, and it'll set us up for being able to apply for other grant funding for road bridge projects. So I think it's a good thing. And that was basically not costing, still costs taxpayer money, but not any county dollars, because we got the governor's office did a match. So the state matched our federal dollars. So that 360's all out of county dollars.
Ryan, didn't you mention about something about was it a YDOT grant for delineator poles? Would that be in here or not?
We are applying for that. I don't know how successful we're going to be. We didn't put anything in there for that, did we? That's the delineator.
No, but they paid for all that.
Oh, that's true. That's
100% and they show up.
That's true.
We install.
That's
So
a
it doesn't-
it's a pass through. That's true. That's true. That one
So
should.
yeah, that's for those like the flexible delineators like YDOT uses, and we put in like 1,000 of them or something like that.
Okay.
So.
But it doesn't cost us anything.
Okay, so it doesn't have to be followed on the county budget. Okay.
I guess moving over to the county road fund 3110, if you have that handy.
30. Yeah.
Or yeah, 3110.
Towards the back.
We probably should have budgeted more time here.
It's 45.
40.
Just wanted to point out there, it doesn't probably concern you too much or bother you too much, but that obviously is our separate account that we maintain. That's our tax revenues, fuel taxes, severance taxes that we get. And it usually this is where we pay for projects, but you see that 1.9 million that we budgeted. That's the money that we've got to pay on our match for the South Fork project. So I just want you to be aware of that it should be around June of next year, May, June of next year. We'll have to pay that amount to Federal Highways for our match.
Where is that?
Okay, it's down towards the second to the last item, that 1.9 million. Hopefully it says that. What's your say, Steve?
1,915,000.
Yep, that's it. Does that make sense what that is? That's it's a $17 million project, and it's a 15% match for the federal flat project.
We don't match those numbers.
Now, yeah, I was gonna say, there might,
46? You went farther.
Oh.
and there's a county road fund revenue one, so it gets kind of confusing.
There's a summary revenue and expense.
Wait, will you say what that is one more time? Sorry.
Okay, so that's our 15% match for the South Fork project.
Oh,
And we'll have to
okay.
cut them a check or transfer money May, June of this coming year.
Okay.
For the South Fork phase 2 flat project.
Flat. Right.
Like I say, it's a $17+ million project. And then the other item on there is that 100,000, that's we're able to write off, not write off, we're able to pay for 100,000 of our motor grader expense. And so we went ahead and did that because we are going to have our motor graders on there. So that's taken into account too.
That's what the legislature approved a couple years ago.
Yep.
Okay.
So Mr. Chair, with that, that's already taken out of
I think
your
we did.
3,100.
Let us double check that because we were just talking,
I'm not for sure.
I'm not sure that we did it because I had 400,000 apiece on the,
I believe he said 1 point.
yeah, we probably could lower that by 100,000. We'll double check that with Steve though.
Do you want to get back with Colleen on that then?
Yep, let us get back to you on that because that should be an automatic. We could do it.
Out of his budget.
Right.
And the other side,
Right.
right?
If it's here, it doesn't need to be there.
Got it. Okay.
Real,
1.5.
Yeah.
real quick, I guess I won't go too much into revenue things, on just the overall revenue. We do budget money for road names and addresses, about 11,000 in revenue, 25,000 in right-of-way permit fees. All that has been up the last couple of years. We've been seeing more and more of that. The one thing I guess to note, we're not sure that $15,000 shared maintenance agreement with the Forest Service that we've had since I've been with the county, there's a good chance that won't get renewed. So we're still, we're at the end of the 4 years, and you know how we do the 1 year annual renewal. We're at the end of that. So there's a chance we're hearing that might not get renewed, which I don't know what we do there. We'll have to put our heads together or whether the county wants to continue to do that if we're not getting forest assistance. Other things, I think that's, there's Title I, Title III revenues that show up in there. I won't go bore you with all that, but again, that offsets the, those expenses that were in the Title I, Title III in our 3,100 budget. But you see, on the equipment sold, there's about 1,433,000. That's the, I had 1,343,000 is the motor grader buyback, but there's also some money in there for dump truck that we're gonna try to auction this fall. The tractor that Jason's band-aiding together, and then we've got a case loader in our fleet that we were gonna sell this fall. So there's 1.4 million. And again, if you want that item number, it's
Is.
is that it? They're 3230 or 3,100.
323502.
Yeah, 323502. That's miscellaneous revenue equipment sold. I hate the way we have to do that in the budget. We're working with Steve to do that because it gets lost to the public. But yeah, there's 1.4 million of revenue offsetting that equipment.
It's lost to me at the moment.
Okay. I don't know.
You want,
Yeah, I don't know how to tell you where.
like, are you on the revenue side?
Yeah, this is on the revenue side. I just want to stress that for when you get grilled by the public about that expense item for the
Right.
equipment, you got to remember there's a big revenue item that offsets that.
Right.
Where is it again?
It's called,
Page 6, about halfway down, look on the right side, 1.433 million.
Oh, I see it. Okay.
And follow that across, that's miscellaneous revenue for what sold.
does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think in the future, we're going to try to net those a little better. We're talking about that, but we've kind of gone back and forth with how we do that.
Okay.
But it is it's a bad look for the public.
So it's
I
under
don't like-
miscellaneous revenue, could have sold.
Right. That's it.
Net that in your expense side.
And that's, we used to do it that way.
When,
Uh,
when
w-
John Deere wins it, it basically just gets netted off the price of the graders, so we, you know, we say 30 grand a grader or whatever. But this way, you know, it looks like we buy it for more brand new and you don't see it on the back end.
Yeah,
unless you
right.
Look for it.
Yeah, it's nice. That's harder to find.
Yeah, and it's tricky.
Content.
Yeah, it always gets into, when I first come to the county, it would be like we would do everything trade in for that reason. And I think we lost out on a lot of money that way because you can net it. But, you know, a lot of times you can sell it outright and do better than that trade in. So I think we should be getting the best dollar we could get for the taxpayers. So
Sure.
anyway, we'll work with Steve to hopefully present that a little better with the public.
Well, and when Cat won it, was when we still exercise that buyback and instead of netting it out. We got a check for our graders and then that's when the accounting, they screwed all that up again and we switched it, so.
You can net it when it's a trade-in, but it's not a trade-in when somebody else buys it.
And like I say, before my time, they did nothing but trades for that reason, which to me is stupid. And not the stupid, it's not in the taxpayer's best interest. We should get the best deal, whether it's trade or selling it on the open market or whatever. This is how I feel about it anyway. That's it for road bridge related things. We were gonna go solid waste unless you guys.
Okay. 41 and 42.
Oh, yeah, this year's thoughts.
3240.
43 is the solid waste budget itself. Then there's revenues,
Solid waste.
revenues on 41 and 42. 43 is the biggest.
I don't do anything. Just moral support.
I got my new improved Travis here with me.
Thank you.
Aaron's very helpful on all this budget stuff for solid waste, so. Okay, maybe we'll start with the revenue, if that's okay, 3240
So
revenue.
that's page 42.
Hey, before we go on, if these guys need to take off,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you guys can build for sure. Maybe trap or stick if you can.
I know you guys are pretty riveting and liking this stuff, and
Thank you.
Fine.
Good catch. Jason loves this. Okay, so on the solid waste revenues, just I guess to point out, we will have new disposal rates that'll go into effect in July. And so we've adjusted the budget items for all the revenue for our contract customers and really the general public too, which will, I think we're on the agenda for July 7th, I think, to get those adjusted. Again, all that's been worked out with our contract haulers, so come to an agreement to raise those rates. But anyway, all those revenues have been adjusted to consider that. The other thing I think I'll point out to you is on the salvage sold on the revenue. We are expected to do some scrap metal recycling this year. We're going to get somebody under contract to do that. So we're expecting pretty good revenue from that. What else did I do? I guess wanted to point out on our interest that doesn't look great. On the interest item, that's down at the bottom. Yeah, that on the interest item, we did bump that up quite a bit. So we are starting to we bottomed out the enterprise fund with the cell construction, the shop. We're now back in the green and starting to build up reserves again. So our interest is better. Barb does a good job of investing that money. So we expect that to go up. Everything else I think is pretty well the same on the revenue. Anything I missed there, Aaron?
The numbers out on the slib, like it's numbered out on ours.
Oh, the big number, which is, that solid waste ARR grant,
Yeah.
that was the sewer lagoons. Okay, I'm glad you brought that up. So, that 2.4 million that's in our current budget, not the fiscal year 26, all that has been used. That's state ARPA, and then the county matched 2 million towards that. All of that's been used. The project is out for advertisement for final completion. I will say that we could add in there $20,000 of revenue on that very last item, which is wastewater revenue, because I'm going to meet with the city tomorrow or actually Thursday, on the timing for how we're transitioning over to the city of Cody's operation. And so there'll be about 2 months in this budget where we're gonna collect revenue. So we could put 20,000 in there, Steve, on that. Okay, in that last item for that.
Okay.
I think that's kind of it on revenue side of things. Any questions on revenue?
That revenue goes under wastewater revenue?
Or the wastewater?
Yeah, it'd be,
Sorry, I just,
yeah, it should be that very last item, the wastewater revenue.
okay,
You can see we're gonna lose that once the city takes it over.
We put it up.
But we're gonna put it at 20K, just
Right.
look at 2
Yeah,
months.
We had it under that grant one.
Yeah, I think the better place to put it would be the wastewater revenue. Sorry about
Oh,
that.
so take it out of the.
Yeah, take it out of the,
put it at the
yeah,
bottom.
sorry about that. I didn't catch that.
Mr. Chair, my paper copy has X's. What is your overall 26-27 bottom line? I can't read it from here. All right,
2,517,288.
what'd you say?
2,517,288.
Thank you.
And we are projected revenue and expenses to be in the green this year, which is good. We went a couple years where we weren't. And just because we had some pretty big capital improvement projects, but
Sure.
we're getting back into a normal solid waste budget, annual operating budget. Okay, if we're done with revenue, we'll jump to the expenses. I was gonna kind of skip over the postage, cell phone. We did drop the cell phone a little bit. Do subscriptions a little bit higher. I don't know if something went up there, but oh, software increase is what we put in our notes there. We had some of our software that we put in there. That might have got moved too, didn't it? Swana and all that. Swan and all that. Okay, yeah, I think for some reason I wrote. That's what I was thinking. I wanted to be sure, maybe that we might wanted. That's what it is. That's what we put down there. We had to purchase another license for our WasteWorks software. Okay, down, if there's no questions there under utilities, we're starting to see the benefits. We invested a little money doing some energy efficiency things on our shop, is basically repairing some insulation, filling in some voids. And so I think we're starting to see that pay off. So we're going to lower by about $3,000 for part count for the Cody landfill. And then a little bit on PAL too, but nothing big, no big dollars there. I guess a decent item, I guess, worth discussing on education, training and meetings, why that stepped up a little bit. We've got some things in the road bridge side of things for our operators and training that we do through Safety Congress and other things that we really don't have with solid waste. We've been talking with a company that they do landfills all over the country, and it's a training certification program. You know, we've got guys that were basically starting as lot attendants and training as they go, and we've got, you know, several $100,000 worth of equipment, and a lot of times these guys are kind of going on not a lot of training, and so that we've got in there $3,000. It's but basically be our whole crew, and it's it's a modular, both different landfill operations that we put in there for that. So that's why that's higher. Again, I don't have to have it as far as you know, things got tight, but it's you know, our guys could definitely benefit from some more training.
Teach you how to ride an excavator.
Yes, ride a compactor.
Yes, in-house.
Oh, you don't, Commissioner, you show me 46.
And did that training
Oh, good.
here, did that travel to it?
It's all here, and it's all like Teams online type stuff, and it's at our own pace. So like when we have a bad weather day or when the guys are slow, We may not have got that changed. I apologize, Steve. 4,600 is what I have.
Oh, okay, we
I
have
might have.
1,600, so
Yeah,
it's 4,600.
yeah, I might have failed to get that to you, Steve.
Okay.
I'll compare on some others to make sure, but that's what's in there for that. Um, diesel fuel, it was another one. Again, it's kind of again, plan for the worst, hope for the best type deal. It's based on $5 diesel. You got 120 for that.
Yeah, we're good on this.
Good on, okay, good on that section. I guess if there's any questions on fuel or oil or tires, I think all that we're kind of dialed in. I think we're in good shape there. Safety equipment, supplies, I don't see anything jumping out there except on the repairs.
You have safety training at 3,000. Is that where you put that instead of?
I think that was miss.
Oh,
Changed line.
maybe that, you had it at 3,000. Yeah, 1,200 is what I've got for safety equipment,
Okay, so that's
What-
where that went.
which you saw that we blew the budget in our,
Safety equipment.
Look down to it, safety training, you've got 3,000 added. Was that
Yeah,
supposed
good.
to be there or was that up under education and training?
We had 33,000.
right here in the.
No, yeah, where it's 200.
Oh, okay. Okay. So, yeah, so I've got that one now at safety training 200. That was where we screwed up.
200?
Yeah, $200. And because that 3,000 went up to that
Okay,
uh
that's where the issue was.
education training meets, because it's not just safety, it's actual operating type.
Okay.
Does that make sense, Eric?
Yep.
And then I guess wanted to point out why we blew our safety training, or not safety training, safety equipment. We had again updated all our first aid kits, and then there was, I guess that was down somewhere else too, but we ended up buying the what do you call that? The AED that the landfill, buildings and grounds absorbed it for all the other departments, but landfill purchased theirs because they're an enterprise fund.
Okay.
So nothing really else on safety. Vehicle machinery, equipment repairs, you can see that's always a struggle. We did bump that up quite a bit, and it's because we've got some known expenses sitting out there. We've got some tracks that we're gonna need to work on. Part of our big expense last year was that bow bag that we ended up doing repairs on. So yeah, we're just trying to anticipate two of our cat crawlers are getting down to around 10,000 hours now. So like I say, we're getting to where spending some more money on it. We will probably be looking to trade one of those in, not this budget, but next budget. Because like I say, we do have two of them that are getting up there with the hours.
Mr. Chair, Brian, do we need to?
Track loaders? Yeah. So,
With the, the compactors, I know prior to that, we used it for compaction, but
Yeah.
now that we have two compactors,
no, it's a good question. In a typical landfill operation, you're either using a dozer or these track loaders are a little more versatile, that they're doing the pushing, getting it all together, and that compactor is pretty much compact and it's staying on the waste. And then also keep in mind, we have Clark. So one of those crawlers ends up, we've got one at Powell, we've got one at Cody, and then we've got one that's used almost as a backup, but it's a backup plus it goes to Clark. We use it there to compact at Clark.
I know we used that as an excuse to buy that first one, was we wouldn't need. We should downsize on the tractor.
No, and like I say, if you go to any municipal solid waste landfill, they're gonna have something that's pushing the material to them. There's that side of it. And then but we were using the track loaders as a piece of compaction equipment, which it does work up to a certain point. But where the compactors are paid for themselves is airspace. Airspace.
Not part of it was also the fact that we can downsize on crawler loaders.
Yeah, I don't remember if that's how that was packaged or not, but yeah, they're used. We might be a half of a track loader heavy just because one of them is spare, and spare and used in Clark, which Clark's not an
We're
everyday.
still not putting near the hours.
We're not putting the hours on it. No,
Sure.
no.
We should last.
Yeah, like I say, they're each of those two, and they're like the two cats that we've got at Cody are 2010, 2011 models, and they've got about 10,000 hours on each one. So they're getting there. And like I say, one of them's getting where we're putting some money into it. So I thought we might be at that point this year. We're going to try to, the guys have band-aided it together. I think we're going to try to get another year out of one of them. But next year, I think we need to probably look at,
Let's try to keep rolling here.
okay. Let's see. Just on the tools, installed equipment, the budget, just part of the things why we blew the budget last time. We did quite a few things. We had an office printer, the big ones that blew up last year. And I mean, Travis broke it. It literally had to be replaced. And so that was a big ticket item that why we caused that. And that AED is actually in that. And then they purchased some tow ropes and things like that. So anyway, not that that's huge, but just explaining why we blew it. Moving down to site materials, supplies, big, I guess, increase. The cover material, the ADC, that's the posi shell we use for alternate daily cover. This is like the compactor. 20,000 sounds like a lot of money, but it saves so much in airspace. The guys in the last year or two haven't been great at using the alternate daily cover. So we're trying to get them back on track with that because it shows up in when we do annual surveys this time of year, and it really shows when we're filling our landfill up with cover soil. It's not a good thing. So we're on them about getting that back on track.
Material you haven't used in 3 years, you still need it in there?
The reason we had used it, we've always kind of had it in the budget. When we crush that concrete, we use that on the roads. We've now used all that material. So I like to leave that in there. I think Travis would like to leave that in there just because I think we're going to need some road materials this next winter.
I know this is an enterprise budget, but I think we're trying.
No, it's
consistent across the board, and if you,
Yeah.
when you're going like
Yeah.
this, there's usually a reason.
Yeah, it might work out to where by the time we do get to that point, we tried when we could crush that concrete, use that. It works great as a material, but when you're getting in and out of the landfill, you need roads, and you're always building roads in the cell itself. So it's pretty important, especially our big packer trucks from Powell and Keel and whatnot. You got to have good roads in there. So I would leave that in there if we don't use it.
I'm good. I'm just, you haven't used it.
Yeah, I think this might be the first year we actually will because the concrete's gone. The crushed concrete's been used up. The litter fence, we did reduce that a little bit, but we went ahead and left that because we do want to buy another. We do have a need to get one more or at least replace one on a litter fence. So that's part of
It's obviously working.
yeah, working.
Until it's like 100-mile-an-hour winds.
Well,
Yeah, no, those guys are doing great with that. You see that on lease and rentals, we dropped that a lot by like 30 grand. That was because when we had the lease on the compactor kind of overlapped into fiscal year 26. Plus we had some money in there for the tire shredder. We're going to do something a little different on that. This time we're in the process of getting an RFQ out on the tires here in the next month here. But anyway, we cut that back because we don't think we'll be anywhere near that. What else is good here? We did lower some of our infrastructure repairs. We had the Leachate Lagoon repair project, which was fairly substantial at Cody, that we're not going to have. So we're able to reduce some of those items, mainly at the Cody landfill. We do have a few little fixes on Powell, which is why Powell went up a little bit. It's kind of a long story, but there's some things on the building that we've got to make some adjustments on the floor and on the door. On the, I guess the next big ticket item, the vehicles, machinery, equipment purchases. What's in that 155,000? We've got in there skids. Oh, you have 100,000? Oops. Whoops. Okay, so what we had in there is we had a skid steer which, with the mower attachment and then with, we're getting set up to do household hazardous waste out there, a little bit more recycling and things, it'd be a more versatile piece of equipment we could use for recycling. So 100,000, we try to get a used one if we could. And so I think we could do a lot better than that 100,000. We've been looking at that and watching them on auctions and things. But that's what's in that number. And then we have in there a pickup too. We were going to replace Edmund's pickup and then put his in the fleet. We just sold one of the ones on auction for pickup, and I think we did pretty well on it. But we've got several of these older landfill pickups that can't be driven out on the highways. They're just, they always get the road and bridge hand-me-downs, the ones that are, barely run, and which is fine. That's what they're for the landfill. But they're getting to where we need to start replacing some on the bottom end. So that's what that is.
Brian, when they cut the fence over at the Powell landfill, steel batteries, do we do that in-house to fix it? Or?
We try to do that in-house where we can, but sometimes I don't know where, if we were to contract that out, we'd have that in there somewhere. But up to this point, they've been able to fix it themselves. Up to this point. But yeah, that's been an ongoing problem that just happened again here not too long ago. What else here? On the professional fees, you can see that Cody was dropped quite a bit in the budget there, the Cody landfill on professional fees. What's in that is all the roll-off rates for the with two tough guys at Kill. I forget who's where, but so Two Tough Guys is out there now that does our citizens convenience, handles our roll-off stuff, but that's got the new rates in with that. And actually I had 10,000 on the tire shredder. So we have some of that in there too. But anyway, we're able to lower that by about 119,000. Hopefully that's reflected. It should be quite a bit better. Again, we're back to some normal operations at our landfills just because some of the bigger ticket things, getting that leachate lagoon fixed was a big expense item that we finally got that taken care of. It seems to be working. It seems to be holding water now, which is good. I guess the big item you see nothing in there this will be a little bit of a change down there on the sewer lagoon item where we had 2.3 billion in there last year. And that was basically what was offset by that state ARPA grant was what that was. And that's all been used up. But we've now used the local ARPA, which is the 2 million that the county put towards it, the state ARPA, which was the 2.3-ish and change, or what, 2.4 actually. We've used all of that money up. And we had planned, I think when we came back with Philip and I back December, January, there was about 320,000-ish that we were going to have to pay out of the enterprise fund. The city of Cody splitting that with us. So I'd like to change that. We've got it at 0. I'd like to change that, Steve, to 160,000. And the thing about it is we're at that point of substantial completion. Again, this is under the sewer lagoon item on the expense, and I've got it 0 now. But if you could make that 160, chances are we're probably not going to
170.
170. Okay, well that's fine too. Perfect.
Okay.
But what that is final payout. We're thinking there'll be some contingency money that will offset some of that, and then plus engineering associates on our engineering contracts a little under budget. So I want to put that in there just in case, but we should use all of that. And like I say, we plan to do that. This is what we presented to you back in, I think it was November. But it was just the cost of the project was very expensive to complete. But we're almost out of the septage business. We're really excited, very, very close. The other item, you see that household hazardous waste, the 45,000. We did put some money in there. I think it's badly needed. Now we skipped 2 years now, and the public's really hurting for that. Some, I don't remember if it was weed and pest that aren't able to participate with their tight budgets. But yeah, there's a big demand for this, and all you gotta do is volunteer a day or at Powell or at Cody, and that is a huge deal.
We get probably 4 or 5 phone calls daily.
Yeah, it's,
asking What to do with.
Okay,
but we're trying to get that absorbed in at the Cody landfill, at least maybe some in Powell too. Where we're talking about purchasing some containers and trying to be able to handle that more on an ongoing basis instead of doing it once a year or once every 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
We're trying to get a better setup for that. But that's what that number is.
Okay.
I think that's kind of the main things. You see the franchise fees in there for what we've worked out with Steve on that.
It's supposed to have annual increase.
Well, remember we kind of set up to where we wouldn't mess with it for 3 or 4 years. Then we'll come up with a deal. Let me go back and look, but I'll find my
That
email.
we have like the 3% or 2.5% increase each year for inflation, postage, all those little expenses that go up.
oh, we did.
Maybe we did. I know we were trying to get to where we didn't mess with it all the time because we went through and figured out what our actual costs were. When I say costs, what the benefits they're getting from the
Okay.
clerk and the county attorney and all IT.
Right.
So that's what that number is supposed to cover, but we'll double check
I
that.
think that was a base plus a minimal increase each year.
Okay, we'll double check that. Anything else on solid waste?
I don't think so.
Nope. Okay,
Okay.
good times.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
You wanna just keep moving or you need a break?
It's, I mean, it's good. It's pretty
I'm good.
Yeah.
Do you break?
Yeah.
So.
22 and 24.
Yeah. Yep, yep.
It's fine.
Yeah, that's
Are you
the
good?
motor grader.
Okay.
Just the equipment purchases,
purchase.
it's 100,000 sitting in, the CRF.
I'm okay. It dropped back down.
Well, you should let that medics know.
I'm sure we did. Yeah.
5, which is general accounts. Okay. He wants to go to general accounts, Steve, first. 1930. Okay.
Trevor?
So we'll get started with that. Wanted to make a couple changes. They're a little bit late in the game, but paper costs have gone up, so I added 1,000 to that.
What line are
Where are
you
you?
on?
Sorry, that's on materials and supplies, paper.
Okay,
And then we can come down to,
you making that.
Add what? Sorry.
I'm adding 1,000 to that.
Okay.
We were right on the line last year and costs are going up. They raised, the paper kind of substantially went
Yeah.
up.
Okay.
So. And the other one was the copiers purchase, equipment and furniture purchase dash copiers. I put another 5 on that. I would like to try to get 2 more copiers this year, kind of get ahead of the game here.
25.
And they average about that much for 2 of them. So.
That's
So
crazy.
that would go to 30, wouldn't it?
No,
isn't
it
that
does
line at
20.
20.
Oh, I must be on the wrong. Oh, it's-
5,000.
I see it.
So that goes to 25. Okay,
That's a raise.
That's it.
that's it there. Yeah.
Fair weight
fair weight
raise.
raise.
Fair trade.
Okay, so then we're on 22 and 23, 24.
So we'll cover the highlights here. I don't have a lot of increases. I've got some cuts that I made on my advertising, legal and other. Start there is where I did a cut. A $500 cut on that.
Okay.
If we move down to the materials and supplies for janitorial, I did a increase on that by 2,000. Just for the fact that prices are going up on the equipment, the chemicals, things to keep our buildings. So,
You've been over on the last couple of years, so.
yeah.
Okay.
Let's see.
Yeah, over.
Moving down, here's a big one. This is for the complex, maintenance of the buildings at the complex. I added a 50,000 in there to repair our freight elevator. Glad to hear that we got a way better quote from Otis instead of Kone. So it's a substantial savings on that. Another jump, for the law enforcement center. I added an additional 25,000 to that for a washing machine that we just lost. And they run about, big giant commercial one.
It's not 27,000?
He added 27,000, so the maintenance on the law enforcement center goes to 72.
But he said 25.
You say 25 or 27?
You have your budget where you change it.
Oh, crud. Thanks, Steve. Kind of like that.
Mine's correct.
Kind of like
Pardon?
this. I have
It should be at 72.
Okay, so the 27 is correct.
And that's why.
Okay.
So those were 2 pretty good jumps. Also wanted to do some valve repair, or we've got some Acorn valves in the jail that are constantly breaking down on us. We've been band-aiding them for years. So it'd be nice to get those all squared away for water savings as well as reliability. So that,
Law enforcement again.
yes,
That's
yes,
in that 70.
it's in that.
Oh, it's in that section.
Wow.
Yeah. Moving down, I did a cut on the maintenance of buildings and others. I cut 2,000 out of that.
What about the library? You had 75 the last couple of years. You only lose 4,000 last year, and now the Powell Library is brand new, so I don't know if you really need 7,500 in there. Can we drop it to 6 or something?
I
It's a riding vacuum.
think one reason I'm keeping it, we have a lighting issue there. I don't know if you remember at the library, the Cody Library. A water line broke above our controller.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna need to do something there and it may be a couple $1,000s. So maybe we could keep that the same. I mean.
Okay.
Kick off 500, is that?
No, that's fine, as long as you
Okay.
have a reason for the
He
change.
said 5.
Okay, we'll take 500 out.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's just do that.
Okay.
cause just doing the fuzzy math, I think we'd
We have
be,
to get Lloyd's cut in here.
yeah,
so.
we'd be in the ballpark, so. Let's see, yeah, the 2,000 cut on the next one.
Mhm.
That's an increase. That's gonna be for the fairgrounds. Wanted to do a few more maintenance items. We've got some issues with some drains and things like that. I'd put that on there maybe to get us back up to where we should be.
As we discussed earlier, I don't think you were here for the Fair Advisory Board budget, but they are also saving a little bit of funds to help with like the drain on the pig wash area.
Okay.
Like that. So where there's places that is basically fair use, there may be some combination funding that you and Billy and Andrea can work out.
Okay.
Okay.
I got an email from her today on some things. There's something on that we did fix something already on that list, so.
Do you, Trevor, do you negotiate sometimes with Andrea or Billy on some of the repair, even like the drains that are around the livestock barns and such?
Yeah.
To see if maybe the advisory board can pay for some of that?
Yes, this year we're going to look at that a little closer so that we can kind of spread the cost to them as well as us, because I understand they have kind of a stockpile, and so Billy and I have discussed maybe we can split some of these projects or find ones that are important to them and we can get them done.
Right.
So.
Okay.
Okay, then we're vehicle machinery, equipment, maintenance and repairs. I bumped that up a little bit due to the fact that, we got some aging units out there. And the cost of maintenance is getting a little higher too. We all know oil costs are up and that. Not a big increase, but. And down on my equipment and furniture purchase, I cut that $500. I think I'm a little bit over on this last year. And that just was due to a big expense for public health in Powell at the annex to get that ADA compliant, as well as HIPAA.
That's not showing in the actual.
Yeah,
That was in the last run,
Okay.
the desk.
So it's not in there yet. Okay, that's 7,000.
Oh, is
Yeah.
that what that,
Yep.
that was in that last voucher?
Yes, Tuesday.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
So it brings me a little bit over on that line item, so. Let's see.
Capital projects. 23.
Jump up to safety equipment, supplies and training. You got 2,500. You haven't spent even $200 in that last 5 years. So
This year, I'm gonna take a bite on that for my continuing education I need to go to. There don't have any classes open up. They'll open up in the fall, so they don't have any listing of the prices or anything yet for that.
Trevor, are those like 2-year cycles? Like, do you have to get?
Every 3 years. Yeah, 3 years.
So that might be why you're not seeing it get used every year, because sometimes you have to use it. You only have to do it every 3. Or like in mine, you only have to, you do it every 2. But then it can be big when you do it, so.
See, and that's the education, training and meetings.
Right.
Yeah.
So you left it at 2,500. Okay.
To 2,000.
Yeah, it's at
2,000,
2,000
okay.
now.
Right. That's down on.
so that's different.
Yeah.
Right, the one I'm talking is safety equipment, supplies and training.
Right. Down below.
Down below,
40.
44.0.
4344.
You got 2,500 bucks in there, and you have to use $54 last year, 111 the year before that, $0 the year before that, and 130 the year before that.
Yeah.
Can we talk to 1,500? I said you're not even spending 200.
Yeah, I could do that.
Wait.
I think we could swing that.
43, 44.
4344.
So we're gonna change that to $1,500.
Just $1,000.
You did. Yeah, thank you.
Now, well,
Yeah. Yep, capital projects,
yeah, no problem.
the one thing I don't want to forget to mention here, Mr. Chairman, is and we talked about this a little yesterday. We don't have it on your budget yet, but it's probably where that Homeland Security courtroom security grant needs to go, and then if the judicial grant comes through too, that we're not really finishing applying for till August, probably has to go in your budget too, because it both has to do with both buildings, the annex and here. So
Yeah, and
so you're aware.
I think at our last meeting, we were gonna ask for 300,000 be put in there because we can go up to that limit.
On the Homeland Security one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, so that was something that,
Okay, just so we
I didn't
don't
know if
forget about
he-
where it goes. That one's been approved. We just don't know about,
Just need to add 300,000 in grant income and grant expense to building.
right. And that's the courtroom security upgrade.
That one, we don't know the amount.
That one we do know. That one's
That's
just
the
under
300.
300,000. If the one we don't know about is from the judicial in Cheyenne, they've offered some funds and we have a few additional things over the 300 that we wanted to finish
Oh.
doing. And they're looking at that, which we have to apply for in August.
and I think we have a 10% match on that. Is that
We
correct?
do, and
Okay,
that's the concern that I have is if we don't know what that number is. I don't think you guys have come to a conclusion on
No.
what else you need.
no,
So we're gonna have to be careful on that 10% match.
yep.
Or where we're gonna budget.
I was wondering if we wanted to put something in there to get it started and have that in a line item, or is that something, I mean,
Do you have?
decide what the 10%,
Do you have any idea what the difference is between what's paid for through Homeland and what's maybe being asked for?
no, I don't. Not without,
I can try to confirm that with Judge Dara between now and
Final.
final. Okay. I think we do have a meeting coming up.
yeah, we should.
Yeah, okay.
It's been hard to get everybody together, so.
It is, but the paperwork just came from the justices the other day. so-
Okay.
Okay.
Not a lot of change to the projects side of it. Of course, the HVAC job, that's gonna be moved to ARPA funding.
Deputy Field.
Explain to me the maintenance of the buildings. You got 423,000 on that
Are you on-
carried over.
He's on a different page.
Go to the next, it details it out.
I thought we were on capital project.
We are, but it's
Yeah.
spelled out more on,
Next page is the
24.
detail of each line.
go to 24 and it details
Here.
each one of them.
Did they get this? Steve?
Okay.
So these are all,
20,000.
but this detail is all under what line?
These
item?
totals are right here, like the
It's still-
43, 423,
Okay.
that's this number.
Yes.
So this budget totals what this page says, the next page says.
Oh, okay.
Right out of the bat, out of the gate, we want to pull that LEC acorn valve replacements out of there for 20,000. I'd like to remove that from there.
Okay.
And I put the lighting panel in here, but I think that that's probably going to be more towards the maintenance of the building, so we could
That's
take
kinda what
that
you
out of
just
there.
said. You
Yeah,
wanna
yeah,
look at that.
yep.
So this
So-
15 could go away too,
Yes,
Cause it's already accounted for in another line
any
item.
other line item.
yep,
Same with the acorn valve replacements. They're in another line item.
yep, take it out.
Okay.
The cell phone for alarm systems, that's probably stay the same. To upgrade our alarm systems throughout our buildings. It's just a better way of communication for those systems, so. We got a trailer and still a refrigerant monitor at the complex. That's kind of a big thing we need to get there. I think we're about 15,000 on one of those to get that fixed. It's a refrigerant monitor. It's down in the library by our chiller. So if you leak any freon in the building, it can be hazardous to people. So it just would evacuate, sound an alarm and get people out of there. So
What is the slabs trailer?
Yeah.
I got the trailer on, I just put it on the same line item. A double axle trailer to pull stuff around. Right now I'm using my own trailer to move equipment around, and
So it doesn't really go with the refrigerate monitor. It's a
it'd be a
separate thing.
separate line. Yeah, I guess we could put it on. Yeah.
All right.
It's 10.
That probably
Yes.
makes more sense.
Yes.
And then do we need to lower the refrigerate monitor to 15?
Yes.
Okay,
So the trailer's 25.
the trailer is 10 and the other is 15.
Oh,
Refrigerator
okay,
nine.
so they totaled that.
Also, I guess we've moved that $1 million off for the LEC HVAC job off of this,
Yes,
so.
where is that?
Didn't know if you wanted to pull the trigger on the courthouse steps resurfacing job we had talked about, or if we could keep going. I'm sure it's gone up more than that now. I just kept the cost the same because I haven't revisited that, but
I would think leave it on the list, but it may be getting cut.
Yeah.
okay.
It may get cut, but.
Okay. Working with the windows at the annex. I'm still working with that gal. I've got her all the numbers and everything. She should be putting that together, so.
Trevor, is that for HVAC stuff too?
HVAC and windows for 250,000.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some rooftop units. We'd like to change
Just
one of
wonder if we
those.
should be separating them.
Yeah, we just did with that trailer. I don't.
We probably
Because
should.
the windows were, weren't they around like 140 or something that we?
Yes, I'd say 150.
So if they're 150 and 100 on the HVAC,
Yeah,
What's on the windows?
I'd say 150.
100 on the.
100 on the
Yes.
HVAC.
Moving down the lights and ballast upgrades. Would like to keep those numbers in there. We're making big strides at getting rid of our ballasts and old fixtures and replacing with LED, more efficient lighting. So,
That's like countywide.
yes.
That's not specific to the library.
Yep, every building we go to, we try to do that at. I would like to leave the corners cooler on there. We were lucky last year, we didn't have a cold winter. That's our problem. When it gets really cold, that thing will fail. So last year I had my guys build a house around it to keep it warm. So it is on its way out. It's had a lot of fingers in it being messed with, so I would like to leave that on there as an item that would possibly fail at the worst time.
The building's not that old.
No,
I know.
they've had trouble with that cooler since it was installed.
Oh, yeah. Major issue. No.
It won't work in cold weather, that's for sure. So like I said, we built a house over it, which is, the air guy said, what are you doing? But
Well,
it
what's
was
the
the only
guarantee?
thing we could do to keep it running.
What's the guarantee the next one's not gonna do it?
I would assume they would put it in a different location, maybe. We've looked at that, or put it in its own room or above the cooler in the garage. So, and they do make coolers that will actually work outside. Cause you've seen those at maybe a Maverick or a grocery store. So that a whole new system is what it's gonna require to run
That's
in
gonna be more than 13,000.
in the winter. Yeah. But I don't know the for sure number until I get quotes and bids and.
Coroner's cooler. So what, I don't know if I want to ask this question.
Yes.
Body.
Yep.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. It's a
You don't have to
body cooler.
replace the
Yes.
food.
No,
Where-
no, sir.
Compressor.
Just the compressor and the coil on the inside. Cause it'll probably be different refrigerant. So if you replace one, you gotta replace the other. Yeah, I'm hoping, but if it has the older refrigerant in it, then you have to do the coils on the inside of the cooler and the compressor on the outside.
And where is it?
At the coroner's office.
So how come it's in this budget and not the coroner's? The county coroner,
Buildings and grounds.
that's considered part of buildings and grounds.
So. The
Huh.
question is the cooler on the outside, obviously right now, does it come through the wall?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
how would you change the coils on the inside of the cooler?
Okay, so you would pull the compressors outside and the
just
cooling
got
lines
horizontal.
go inside. Yeah, I'd put it on, probably on top if I could.
Right.
And so the lines go through the wall and then they go into the coils. That's what does the heat exchange in
Right.
there. And the only reason you have to change those is because if the refrigerant is different, they're not compatible. So any residue in there whatsoever would throw the whole system off. So,
Because I can tell you, before they put the alarm in there, we had a major problem.
oh, when I first got here, we had major problems.
Is
It was pretty, mostly in the wintertime. So the thing wasn't designed. I don't know why or who put it in, but
It's probably the same people that designed that law enforcement center from Georgia.
yeah, probably. So it's just, you know, the house helped quite a bit. Now, I'm going to try to maintain this thing and keep it running, but I wanted at least a little something in there if we do have to do a substantial repair to it.
I'm thinking we maybe should pull it just simply because anything could blow out of anything right now, and that's what we do have reserved for is unexpected things. If we're going to physically plan to replace it as a capital improvement, that's where it needs to be on this list. Just for what ifs, we have accounts for that, in my opinion.
Well, and I would agree, but we do have one backup, and that's Ballard's.
But then you have to pay Ballard's probably you don't have to pay to use it.
We did that before when
Because he doesn't.
it went out before.
Mm.
And we caught it in time and then got the person down to Ballard's, but the alarm system seems to be working.
Yes, that's been a lifesaver. But like I said, this whole winter,
Capital improvement things should be things that we're planning to do within this next calendar year.
So are we gonna pull it?
But that's gonna be that's gonna be a big expenditure, so I don't know if we need to leave it as so he has room to repair it in case something does happen.
Then it goes up on a.
or we'd have to come up with probably 20,000 to fix it when it does go bad. So that might throw,
It doesn't belong in this category. It's just a maintenance and what if.
Belongs in maintenance.
Let's keep moving. What are we gonna do?
I think it basically goes under maintenance
Okay,
and we
let's
could put the 13 there and just in case, but
Another 1,500 maintenance.
It's fine.
But that's.
Under
if we're
his
gonna
and
put it
maintenance.
under
under his maintenance,
If we're gonna put it under maintenance, we need to earmark it strictly for that.
Right now it's under capital.
right?
Yeah, I think that probably needs. I see what you're saying.
Let's try to keep moving. We're getting way behind here.
so you want to put that under maintenance of building? No, that's rent, maintenance of buildings.
15 to maintenance of.
Maintenance
other
on buildings.
maintenance of-
Yep.
Okay.
So you know where it is, if ever push comes to shove. But it's not under capital projects.
Okay.
I'll put Steve inside them.
Hmm.
What else we got?
So this
Okay.
one totals what, Steve?
Which one?
Oh, okay.
It's 750,000
750.
total.
Okay.
That's
You
it.
good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Any questions or?
Nope. Thanks. We're good.
Thank you.
Thanks. I'll talk to Judge Darren and see where we're at on that other
Good.
grant.
Could put duct tape in there too.
Barb, you guys got a little time? We can skip that for a second? Are you okay with that?
County clerk, it's clerk. Or-
What's that?
It's county clerk. So
But
do
I
you-
thought,
It's hands and.
We did them yesterday.
Yeah. We were talking about moving county clerk and do the funding requests. Special funding requests first.
just because we got some public here. Okay.
And where are those at? Back.
26,
46,
26.
26.
You can start from the top.
Yeah.
Last time I know we just went to looked at the ones we were just gonna cut.
Right, and I think that's, if anybody has any concerns. We did add one back in here that we did not fund last year, and that's CYR.
Mhm.
Mhm. And
YRA's down at the bottom, but it
Right.
doesn't go there. That was. Oh, that was in the other general that we looked at, Colleen, wasn't it, yesterday?
Yeah, but it's.
I know it's
spelled out
listed here, but
Yeah.
it's in that other budget that we reviewed yesterday, so it's not
Yes,
additional.
I know that. Yeah,
Okay.
it's put in the general. That's where all of these are found as a number. This is just giving you a list of what they
Okay.
are.
Okay,
Forward Cody's on here. Last year they were 0 and they're back on. But I don't remember them coming and asking.
they're not. Oh, they did. What about?
Yeah, I don't remember the date request. So.
I didn't think so.
I don't remember Jake.
No, so that should be
That
there.
shouldn't be
Maybe
there.
not. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. I didn't think they did, but
I don't think Discover TT requested either. Looks like he might have just carried them all over. So he
I did, I
carried them
never-
all over.
I never saw the requests.
oh,
Oh, yeah, I don't think Discover Matiti was here.
Hold on.
Which one was that?
Discover Matiti Visitor Center.
Oh, visitor center.
yeah, they didn't come in.
Did 4-H come?
Okay, we had, I'm gonna start at the top. Hearing from Powell was requested, Cody Council on Aging.
Can we
requested.
make sure the numbers match?
Okay.
Okay, so they were 1,000? No, that's what we,
Requested
That's what we
3,500.
Okay.
approved.
okay. Well, we haven't approved any.
I'm just
yet.
gonna say, well, why, Mr. Chair, the approved column should be all zeros right now. as far
Yeah,
as I'm
I
concerned.
put it in there so it shows what we did last year.
Oh, those are reflective for that,
Yeah.
Okay,
so.
so but this year they asked for 3,500 and last year we approved 1,000.
Yes.
Okay,
I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that.
Uh-huh.
yeah,
I don't think they asked 35.
Zero on recycling.
They didn't come this year.
They didn't.
They didn't come.
Cody Conservation. Now they're doing the mill, right? Are they doing?
I don't know if they got the mill on the.
But they're,
It'll be
Got
on
it.
the
They're asking for it on the
ballot.
ballot.
Passes or not.
Right.
Did they request?
I think he said he wasn't requesting because
No, he did not.
they were doing the mill.
I think they were gonna wait to see how it balanced out and may come back later.
And we also do their rent,
Yeah,
right?
they-
At the complex. We don't charge them
they
at the
don't charge
complex.
them rent.
so 0,
So 0.
So approved zero.
right?
All right, next, Cody Council on Aging,
We did 55.
they requested 100,000, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Because if they were awarded, and they're feeding more, they have more members,
They were also looking at a bus, like a ride.
Yes.
It was a ride.
If awarded, we propose to use these funds to help finance the required grant matches for state and federal grants that enable our senior center to accommodate more members, feed more community, increase public transportation capabilities.
So their ask was 100?
100,000 this year.
Showing 60, but
Well, that's last year's.
That's last year, what they requested.
column says 60.
Well, but
Yeah,
Steve didn't
because
know what they were
numbers
saying.
Steve didn't update them.
That's why we're doing this, right?
Mr. Chair, on this one, I think we leave it at 55 as what we approved last year, simple. And I'm a little upset just for the fact that they were, when we were putting the capital tax on the ballot, they were asked if they had any needs, and they said no. We were trying to focus on senior center for the PAL.
Well, Powell did, but Cody did not.
But Cody was asked, and they said they didn't need anything, and if they need something for maintenance, I mean, we could have. Penciled it
It's
in.
not to
At
match
any rate, I'm
their-
just-
Their federal, it's to match their federal grants.
Right.
So if they get 50 in federal grants and and they have a match of 50, that's what the 50's for.
Yeah.
So it's just to match grants that they could receive.
Right.
And you really can't use a cap tax for that.
Right.
Cap tax would be for a rebuilding or a remodel, and they don't need to do any of that at our senior center.
At Cody's.
Yeah,
Cody.
yeah, this is the Cody Senior Center.
Right. I'm okay with the
I
50.
requested to keep it at 50.
I agree,
Okay.
And then remember CY Air,
right?
So they were late coming in, but they asked.
So. I guess the question, none of this is gonna be solidified till the
Right.
budget, or till we do the budget. So, I mean, we've got it requested. I'm okay with leaving it there for now.
For now,
Leaving it where?
Leaving it in there,
leaving it in. for
leaving it
now.
at 15 for
But the
now.
problem is, we have to draw a line somewhere. We can't wait until the 13th of July and you guys expect us to put it all together.
Right, no, I get that.
We gotta have
Yeah.
some of this, like, probably by end of day today, some decisions made, so we can move forward.
Okay, well, let's.
Well, I think that the city
I mean,
of
that's what
Cody
we've done in
offered
the
10
past.
grand. It does benefit city of Cody quite a bit. I don't know if Cody has more discretionary spending than we do. It seems to be when they want to hire away our employees, they seem to have money for it. So I would be okay with 10 grand.
Well, so just backing up really quick, the city of Cody, I don't know what they approved for the special funding, but they're also doing a separate, it's a separate contract or agreement for 15,000. And we could look at doing something like this where it helps, it's just to help offset the MRGs. So you only have to pay out of it what the difference is for the MRGs. You may not be obligated to the full 15.
Right.
And so we could look at doing something similar to help them.
They did that for the Chicago plan.
Yeah, for the upcoming year, so we could budget up to 15, but maybe not use it if we had an MOU. So we could talk about that as an option.
Help our bottom
But-
line budget when it comes to approval though. So
No,
That's
it has to
true.
be in there. I mean,
We have to put it at 15.
I'd like to see 0.
the discussion that we had with them, I know when Dusty was here, was somewhat, they're trying to build the account. We
Mhm.
know that they're using an account right now that they have for the Chicago flight. Don't know how that's gonna sort out at the end of the year. We won't know till the end of September. But they want to build that account so they don't have to ask for funds, because if the guarantee isn't needed, they don't have to spend anything,
Right.
as Kelly just said. I don't mind them building that account if our citizens are using our airport. My concern is more the rates of the flights than it is trying to match up with these MRGs. I think that's a little bit iffy, but I know there's a lot of use at the airport. That last Chicago flight had 68 out of 70 seats. I don't know. I don't have a problem giving them something. I'm not sure I want to go to 15.
I'll throw 10 out still.
I choose 0.
You're choosing 0.
You want 15 left?
No.
Mr. Chair.
Yeah.
Remember too, with them funds, they're trying to bring back the Salt Lake.
The Salt Lake
flight.
Yes,
Yeah.
Add the Spokane, Washington flight and add a Houston, Texas flight.
they're
Right.
trying.
If all of those fly into Cody, think of what that will do to Cody's company.
But I think the shooting complex has mentioned that also, trying to bring in people from different places and not being stuck on one airline with the state MRG, because the state takes care of United right now, other than Chicago. I'd go with 10.
Yeah. I like the idea of what the city's doing. I know we have to budget it, so we would have to budget 10, but I'd like an agreement in place that says if it's not needed, if the MRG difference isn't needed, we wouldn't have to pay it. I like that kind of a model, but at least we have the option, to help a little bit with the MRGs. If the board is interested in that, then I can ask the city for
I want to see an
kind of
agreement.
what the agreement. Okay.
Can we leave it at 10 and wait for the agreement?
Mhm.
Okay.
Crisis intervention,
Ask them 11.
we went with 8250 last year.
I'd almost want to stay with the 8250. We did give them an office for
Yeah.
8 or 10 months for no charge at the complex while they did their construction stuff. And I think we had some loss in rent there, so. And it's a great program.
Leave it at 8250.
Yeah.
Forward Cody did not, Manor House.
They did, they came.
15,000.
We gave them 11,250.
Didn't,
true.
yeah. Colleen, didn't they say their number, what was their number? Their number of families were,
Their numbers were up.
Oh, where,
it was substantially up.
where you guys at?
Manor House,
Man, a house,
We did them last year.
yeah,
11,250.
Oh, you're next. So what did we do for?
Nothing.
0, yeah.
Okay, so we're staying at nothing.
For forward coding.
Right, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they didn't even submit.
Right.
So my instructions from the board was to send out only who we gave money to
Right.
last year.
Right.
And those that we did not fund last year were not
Right.
to receive.
Okay.
Mr.
Yeah.
Carleen, our columns are showing the requested amount. So
Our columns are all
Because-
screwed up, so we just
Yeah.
have to listen to what she says.
Listen to Colleen, not
Yeah.
to Steve.
Yes.
Yeah.
One
All
time.
All right,
Sorry,
let's-
Steve.
Let's keep going here. Get behind.
Manor
We are behind. Man House, 11,
11,250.
yep. Are we staying there?
They requested 15 this year, okay.
Are you staying there?
I
Okay.
say Steve.
Okay.
Senior Center,
The TT Senior Center requested 20,500.
15.
15.
15.
I think they're also part of the,
They are part of the
Yeah.
tax if we,
Right.
yeah, the 6th pen, or,
if it passes.
yeah.
But again, they can only use that for improvement.
Right, let's go. So let's do Matisse Visitor Center, 0.
Wait, did we leave the senior center at 15?
Mhm.
Okay.
0.
I have nothing from them in TT.
0.
That's because that was that development.
Cody County 4-H Council.
She didn't come in this year.
She's.
We had
Because she
some
wouldn't-
Communication problems, I think.
Yeah, so
That was
All right.
email problem.
All right.
not-
Request is 8, is that correct?
I didn't receive anything from her, but she is sitting back, but I do want to come back.
You're gonna get what you get.
All right, let's go.
What we did last year, 5250.
Yep,
5250.
$5,250.
Park County Animal Shelter.
Give them 1,000 and
They asked
They asked for
1,000.
3. They asked for 3.
I thought Don.
3.
Oh, it was
They
there?
asked for 3. They asked for 21 and 22 and 25 in previous years. I guess I appreciate the fact that they've changed some of their processes because we asked them to,
Mhm.
or they were pushed to do that. And they do take care of a lot of Park County animals. I don't, for the size of them, I don't have a problem with the 3. I'm not going anywhere close to what they asked for before, but I'm okay with the 3, and I think they've been real responsive at dropping it to 3 from 21.
Mhm.
Well,
Okay.
remember the one year they came in at 75.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. I'm okay with 3 if we can do it, if we can do it.
If we can.
I'm good with 3.
Okay.
4 requested 9.
And that's what they got last year.
Mhm.
Powell Economic
We
Partnership,
did nothing.
0.
nothing. Powell Senior Citizens.
We did 55.
Theirs was up this year too.
Theirs was,
I think their request was
5.
they asked 55? That's what we gave them last year, I think.
That's what we're giving Corey.
Okay.
Okay,
Recycling 0.
Cycling 0,
Both of them.
both of them. Oxbow Center,
They were, they asked 50.
Did 37.5 last year.
I'd rather stay with the
I think we
30.
say with 37.
Youth Clubs of Park County,
We asked 25.
11,250.
250.
Stayed the same. So have you been filling those in, Steve?
Yes.
So where are we then?
we got, the last one is gonna be the YRA.
No, we did that on the other budget. Didn't we?
I don't think,
It's listed. on
It's
the
listed,
other,
but we
you
didn't-
Still have to.
we didn't
Right.
talk about it.
Okay.
5,000.
But what's the total, Steve, what's the total on those?
It's approved now is 221.5, which
Two,
would be 10,000 less than last year.
220?
Well, it's, okay.
221.
because CY Air was in
What did
that column.
we-
It's due to the Cody Conservation at 22,000.
Oh, okay.
$4,000 less. So.
On the top half, top side. 220.
221.5,
5. 221.5 is what it totals.
because you added CY Air in and took out Cody Conservation.
Yeah, Cody Conservation added 10 for CY Air and added 2 for Park County Animal.
Oh,
Yeah, that's true.
okay.
So our decisions, Yellowstone Regional. As you're aware from the discussion yesterday, we have an MOU. That MOU is not specific to how much. It just says the county will participate. That MOU was signed in 1980 or 1982, somewhere in there. There's been a couple amendments, but the amendments only dealt with the name of the airport. They did not deal with how funding was arranged. The city and the county, we were approached by the airport to do a third way match, that the airport is taking 95 out of their reserve, close to 95 out of their reserves. City of Cody has budgeted the 95 from their budget, and they're asking us for 95, so it's split 3 ways for some improvements at the airport. Improvements in infrastructure, I guess. The MOU just says we'll participate.
All right, so moving forward, are we okay with this right here?
Above that? Because this is on there, it's on the bottom. That's why I mentioned the airport.
No, yeah, I know that, yeah, but I'm just saying minus the airport, because that's another budget to go over. To approve.
Yeah, I'm good with.
I'm good with the stuff up above.
Okay.
Oh, so he's saying we're gonna
So
cover
you're
it
not
under,
gonna cover-
you're not gonna cover it under special funding,
Oh, you want to? Okay,
That's where it's.
wherever you wanna do it.
Well-
It's also, it's listed in 2 spots, so.
Well, it's listed here as a descriptor.
Okay.
It's in the general fund already.
right,
The airport is a separate line item.
in the general.
In
The
general
above
fund.
items are one line item. The airport funding is a separate item.
So you want to come back to that later?
Well, there,
No.
Okay.
we,
Let's just keep her going.
I think in the past, I gave you guys a little bit of history before. Years ago, we gave over 100,000 a year to YRA. I think that stopped at about COVID time because they received a significant portion, like $18 million or something. Some of that had strings to it of things they couldn't do with it. But anyway, once they received that, they didn't come in and ask. And I don't think they've asked since like 21. I think when Colleen and I look back at it, it'd been quite a while, or Barb and I look back at it, I guess. But that's where we're at.
Mr. Chair, my input is I'd like to almost legal advice of whether, because the MOU says shall, and I'm not sure we have a choice.
It just doesn't say the amount, I guess is the question in my mind. It says we shall participate.
Right,
Do we
but in
participate at a
equal
third?
thirds, in their third, so
But it says shall, but in the bottom says at the discretionary of the board.
it says from time to time.
From time to
Time to
time.
time.
And it does not, the Joint Powers Board Agreement doesn't, from what I understand, doesn't say like we do a third or 60-40, or doesn't break it
no,
down.
it does. Just says shall.
Historically, it's 60-40.
So. we
Right.
put
We're just going off of precedent, I guess.
participate.
Okay,
I mean,
Lloyd.
Am I wrong?
What did you say, Lloyd?
He said we could put $100 on there and we participated.
Well, let me look. I'm pulling it back up.
It's here.
I'm not comfortable that large amount until we have better numbers to know exactly where we are, myself right now.
We could approve it contingent on the final budget numbers.
Um,
You want to do that?
Do you want to include any wages?
Well,
Increases?
that's what we're gonna know with final budget numbers. If we leave this as a hold until final budget numbers.
In my opinion, wages are also contingent on final budget numbers.
But I don't know how soon we're gonna have that.
I guess I'm just not comfortable putting 95,000 until we see the final budget numbers.
Then how do we hold?
What do you want to do?
What's that?
What do you want to, then, what do you want to put in there?
I'm just not comfortable with 95. Cause I know our budget's gonna be pretty damn tight, I think.
Do we leave it in the listing in general at 95 for now? Get the rest of it worked out, knowing that we have one or two places that we can change, and that would be one of them.
Well, I've identified a lot of them. We're gonna probably have to do away with.
Look at,
Yeah.
Agreed, same here.
and when would we do that?
We better. When can we handle that?
I think we had looked at meeting maybe on this July 7th. I can have a pretty good feel for everything by July 2nd.
Okay,
So I could have that to you on the 6th to review probably by noon.
Okay.
With kind of a pretty darn close budget. We'll have carryover should be finalized.
no, you're not gonna be here, but will you be available to at least read the information?
I'm not sure. Have to school on that stuff. I would have to do today and go in.
Go into town.
Go into the chamber library and come on, but.
What day are you talking about?
There's the 14th too is
He's gonna be in Alaska.
before.
What,
Hard to reach from.
on the
30th.
7th?
I'm gonna aim it with. If, as long as we can budget, I'm not gonna, if we haven't discussed COLA or
Yeah.
raises or anything like that. And I'm just gonna say, I'm not in favor to pull out of reserves
No.
for those. I'm not opposed to them, but if we're gonna agree to a 1.5% or a 2% COLA raise. It's gonna have to pencil in this budget for me to agree to that. Understood.
Yeah.
That's how I am, and that's just one vote out of,
When are you back from Alaska?
not till the 16th,
So you'll be back for the public hearing on the 20th.
yes.
I'll be hopeful to be back on the 20th of my flights.
Are you not?
I'm gonna be in Alaska too.
You're gonna be the second, or,
I'll be gone the 9th through the
Yeah,
20th.
Here for the 7th,
yeah,
but she won't be here she may or may not be here for the budget hearing. depending on
I'm
her
coming
flights.
back in the morning of the 20th, and that's midnight.
so let's set it for that date.
So we'll look at it on the 7th.
On the 7th. Okay.
We'll
We can
send it to you.
try to communicate with you.
Yes. Does that sound okay?
There's some,
So I guess I need guidance. What do you want me to include for COLA or steps or anything?
I think your guidance, Mr. Chairman. I
Yeah.
think your guidance in my mind is, we look at where we're at right now and what's left.
What we can,
If there's
what we
could
can possibly
do,
put in and
Right.
still balance.
is there anyone?
is there any? Yeah.
Well, we need to do the clerk first.
Oh, yeah, we haven't got to her budget yet, so.
All right, let's go.
So basically what we're doing is we're putting a placeholder here.
Right.
Correct? And then we're gonna look to see what we have to give employees first.
Right.
That's gonna be yeah, okay.
Clerk,
The clerk just did have one correction.
12 and 13.
Yeah, page 12. Oh, and maybe we already updated. No, we need to up the subscriptions to the bonds by another 13, because the new clerk will need to buy the $100,000 bond. And we put in about 1,300 for that, so
What do you want total there?
that needs to be yeah.
2,800,
Oh, maybe a little.
third
Where
line.
is it?
Well, because Sherm will be due this next year, it's a 2-year. So we pay the Sherm certification every 2 years.
How much is that?
I would say let's jump it to 2,500.
On the bonds thing?
Yes,
Bonds and subscriptions, you want 2,500.
yes,
Okay.
and I think that's the only change I had.
We want to go more than that, don't we? That's only 500 more than last year.
So that doesn't cover the new bond.
I guess we only spent 1,000.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay.
Right, we didn't spend
Right.
1,000 of it, so.
Yeah.
We should be okay, I think.
Okay. Well, yours is pretty simple.
Yeah, materials and supplies is pretty pretty cut and dry. It's checks, envelopes, titles, blah, 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 yeah, so that's about it for there.
What is your contracts, services and professional fees? You're over.
That's the
4,000 at the
Wyoming
bottom. You spent
Enterprise, it's
4,800.
a subscription with the state of Wyoming
Yeah.
for
For
RIS.
Riz.
Right, but it's at 4,800 for this year and you've only got
Well-
4,000 in there.
They're gonna be getting that corrected.
They had a lot of trouble with that.
Yeah, we've had issues that they were charging us when we weren't actually on, but they said we were on, and so we've been working, I mean, we've been getting, isn't this the one we've been getting bills for? Like 15,000 a month, and then we have to call them and say, whoa, wait a minute, you know, I mean, it's been. So you know, that's the Riz is the new system that they're working on replacing. So I would say leave it for this year and let's just see how it flexes out with the. I don't think the new system is projected. that
Okay.
way, though.
Well. It's been running about 500 a month normally, so 5,000. Might not, it's probably a closer to reality number for next.
So put 5,000 in there
Just
instead of
5,000.
4,000. It's going the wrong way. You didn't find anything.
Well,
There's not much to
not
find.
this can make.
Okay.
Okay, anything else for this one?
Nope, and elections is page 13.
And of course, as you know, we've added 14,000 to temporary employees. On the top
Oh, yeah.
to cover the Hannah County that will be,
Okay, so that's 14
It's on there.
it's on there, yeah.
to
14,600.
cover. I just wanted to make sure, I'd like to keep.
Well, and you know, this is our first year, so we'll figure out how close we
Okay.
calculated it to be. I think Katie and Hans worked on coming up with that number. And then, yeah, the others is just costs of running an election. Ballot stock.
Just remember that,
E-poll
that
book.
this one goes peak and
Right.
valley
Yeah.
because of the election cycle.
And the e-poll books were from they were in last year's budget, right? So they're,
That all that equipment has been purchased already.
Yeah.
And, yeah, they're working on putting all of it over. And that was actually. And, but. It's.
oh, it was an IT.
It
Oh,
was in.
okay.
Oh, it's there.
Because a lot of that equipment that we have for the e-poll books is going to be able to repurpose.
Oh, that's right.
Into
This
our everyday.
fleet of.
And then of
What?
course the bottom line, 51,000, that's fair, because I worked with.
Can-
People do their trainings.
Can you explain 14, 16, 43, 11 materials and supplies elections? Just looking at, I know last year doesn't really matter. Year before. You spent 3, why are we going to 20 in there?
Oh, we have to purchase our ballot stock and.
But
yeah.
you've never been that high before. I just wondered. Okay. Okay,
In 24, 25, we were that high. We spent 15.
right,
And then in 22, 23, we spent 16.
right.
Yeah, and it's all dependent on how much ballot stock we have left, and we have 0 right now.
Yeah, we don't.
Okay,
Because we didn't know if we were projecting a 11 by 14 or.
Yeah, either
We didn't know the size
14
of ballot yet.
14 or 17-inch ballot.
okay,
So for this election, typically primary elections were 14-inch ballot. But because there's so many races or so many people in the House and Senate race, the US House and US Senate, and then the number of commissioner race or candidates pushed us out to a 17-inch ballot.
Okay.
And so we had a lot of 14-inch ballot stock in stock, having 17 hardly.
Sure.
Yeah.
Can we back up just a little on education, training and meetings of employees? You have 4,000 in there. And even in election year past, we've spent. Near that.
where are you at?
It's 1416.4298. 001.
Or 290.
Education, training, and meetings of employees. There's 4,000 in there. Last year was 275. The year before that, 250. Year before that, 250. Year before that, 0.
Yeah, part of that, is Mr. Odie always takes the county vehicle now. And so there's not a lot of travel expense.
But that's different from what he's talking about.
I'm talking,
Education, training and meetings for employees.
290.01.
You raised it by 3,500. Right?
That's reason.
and I understood the year before the last election, you had 4,000 also, but you only spent 250. So I'm just,
Is there any training for counting the ballots on the extra?
I think that's what,
Training on the 17th,
I
July
think that's
17th.
kind of what we're thinking, but I don't, that's. I don't
I don't know that we need
We can
3,500
cut-
there, yeah.
cut $3,000 out of that.
Cut 3 out of there?
Sure.
Okay.
That's your biggest hit for the day.
Yes.
You should remember that, Sharon.
That was him, not me. Anything else?
Okay.
Anything else for hands?
I don't have anything else.
Or I mean, for, yeah.
Hands and Colleen.
Colleen. Okay, let's go. Keep moving.
No, we're done.
We're done. We got everything else.
Did we?
Yep.
Because we did the commissioners yesterday.
Yep, we did land environment. We did all those yesterday.
Environment, General, group of services and in our state.
so Steve, in my mind, I'm thinking somewhere in the, if you were to go to even a 2% in a step, somewhere around 300,000 to 400,000 countywide.
And could be.
And
Thinking
then all-
landfill out, a 50-cent COLA is about 175,000.
We could get some.
Yeah, that's additional step is about 100,000.
Yeah.
So 50-cent COLA, 2 steps would be just under
Yeah.
400.
I think
Wait,
that's,
will you say that again,
So-
Steve? I'm sorry, what?
But if we don't have a surplus of, at least say,
Just have them get the numbers
100,000,
and then we'll.
really not.
No,
no,
okay.
We gotta cut somewhere to get a real
Yeah.
yes.
base.
What did you say?
Okay, 50-cent COLA.
So that would be
And
my
two
main
steps.
question would be, where are we at now? Based on what we've done.
Is 50 cents COLA
Is
as your
there-
percent? Is that?
And we also, Barb still is not able to interface to bring in all the
I
new
know,
revenue
I-
or post anything. So there's gonna
I'm
be
just trying to
changes.
figure out where I'm gonna be while I'm fishing.
But isn't the PILT money up more from last year?
Yes.
It's higher than it was.
Right.
It's up 600,000 from last year.
What percentage is that 50 cents that you were talking about on COLA? Is that 2%? Is that 1%? What is that on the average employee?
Oh, wait a minute, I have one the COLA.
Mm-hmm.
So you said you may have some rough numbers as soon as the 2nd of July? If you were to just send me a text or something, then I would know whether I need to go find a computer and help to zoom in on the 7th or not. I guess where I'm going is with the commissioners area. If we have it, I'm okay with whatever we can afford as long as we're balanced.
Without going into reserves.
Right.
You're okay with?
With a COLA and
Yeah.
rate.
If we don't get reserves.
Everybody's expenses are up and I get that, but main thing,
Is our,
if we gotta go back in and say, okay, we gotta come up with 300,000 somewhere.
So the
I would-
the other variable we haven't decided on is the insurance fund.
Right,
Right,
whether we take anything out of there or not.
and I'm actually okay with that. I don't quite get it as reserve yet.
Yeah, I mean, we can use a portion of it if we need to. We just remember it does pull good revenue for us. It pulls about 5,000 a month in interest. So if you
if you
take
pull
that
it out of the
100,000
account?
I'm just gonna mention a couple other things that we've been talking about the last couple of days to keep in mind, and that was Joy talking about enforcement person, Brian talking about Vic Wit, what we're doing there if we're gonna fund the whole thing. The court justice costs I will work on, and then Andrew, we've had significant discussions over the last 6 months about the IT personnel. And nothing's ever been answered on that, so I just think keep that stuff in mind. I don't know where we're going with it, but I think those are things that we've been asked to keep in mind and pushed a little bit.
And what about, there's also the sheriff's departments.
Yes,
Request.
that was it, and I think we all received that in an email, and I think
I'm still
there's
confused. about
two
that.
discussions there. One is if they changed jobs. If they increased, I think most of the elected officials would agree that if you go from a level 1 to a level 2, there's usually a step change or some kind of an increase because your job description changed. They have another situation where they highlighted a few people that are not changing jobs. It's just they've been there another year or two, and we've had those discussions before about whether that's worthy of automatically moving them if nobody
don't
else in the
think so.
county that's happening with. I think if they're treated the same that we have done in the past, if we do the 2 steps, if the budget allows, then that's the sheriff's decision as to where that goes. I think we've had that discussion with the other elected officials. We're not gonna tell you, you have to put 2 on every one of them, but we're gonna tell you this is how much money you can spread out between the people.
That automatic, just for a select group is not for me.
But we'll need to look at all that and answer it before we get completely done, I guess.
So a 50 cent COLA, salary and benefits for all is $241. 75 is $361. $1 is $482. And then 1 step per hour is about $139, and that's including salary and benefit.
Didn't you send
And
us
that's
that email with
including-
this? Do we have an email?
Yes, we do.
That is including solid waste.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then I guess.
You're saying 100,
We're following the resolution on the Wyoming retirement, correct? So it will stay at 18.12 and then
they pick up.
the employee picks up the rest, okay? And workers' comp, remember, we saved a little, and then remember, we are taking the 7.2% increase on our insurance premium, which has already been figured in, but just so you know, just a few other things.
The county is taking that.
County.
They're gonna
Yeah.
pay that. The employee's not.
Right.
Yeah, basically, we could have the insurance fund take over that 191,000. With the reserves we have.
But that's the one you're saying, if you take the money out, then you, like,
Lose
it's
the interest.
lose the interest on it.
But yeah, but 191,000 versus $1 million that you guys wanna take, and we're sitting at 2.5 million in that fund roughly. So remember, we said we could give $1 million if we had
It's
to,
necessary.
Yeah,
if necessary. But we can take a part of what's the health insurance fund and eat this 7.2% increase and take it out of our budget. It's in there right now, under all the wages.
Okay,
oh,
okay.
Do you see what I'm saying?
it's calculated
Right,
into all the
right,
wages.
We put it in at 7.2.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, so it's in that 7.2 is in there. We could pull that back out and make the insurance fund itself,
Fund itself.
basically.
Okay.
And that was hundred
That was
41,
191.
91.
And then, sorry, I just had salaries on what I told you, salaries and benefits. 50 cent COLA is 217, less solid waste. And each step is about 125,000.
And the numbers I gave you were with solid waste.
Okay. Okay, so if we can get you.
So.
No, I think this is on the second.
On the 7th.
On the 7th in our,
Steve, would it be possible
We
for you to
also-
present maybe a couple, well, one with the insurance money that she is talking about put into the budget and as opposed to what we usually do,
I mean, I can just do it, not
like a one sheet or-
without the insurance.
Yeah, like this, yeah.
Yeah, like this, only because once we put the numbers in, And then if we have to take it out, we have to rework the whole wage sheet, because the wage sheet's attached to
Right.
different departments inside, so this will give you a rough.
Okay.
And it's a pretty darn close rough.
Yeah, I can do the whole budget where we stand without the insurance fund,
Okay.
and then. it's-
Okay, see what we need.
It would just make it that much better with whatever revenue came in from that.
We know that's in the couch cushion.
Yeah.
I guess I need Kelly to clarify what you just asked about, because we agreed yesterday to do a P and Z. When are we doing that? We're doing that, Monday.
The 20,
and then I thought there was
Right.
something. So we have to be done by the 7th with that, because Joy has to get it to the contract.
Yes, we've got
Okay.
that work session on the 29th, and then we've got a work session on July 21st.
That's
And that-
before it goes out to the public thing.
Yeah,
Okay,
because she just sent it out. P and Z Commission meets July 15th. We
right.
have
Okay.
a work session the 21st.
I just want to be sure we weren't walking on the 7th a couple
Yeah.
times.
okay, so how long is the work session on the 15th?
It says it starts
The
at
9th.
9 a.m. Oh, are you talking about, never mind.
No,
So that's just P and Z, that's,
Yeah.
you're not
No.
meeting with them. Oh, okay. I was like, do I have to get that one too? Okay, so I have for us and clerk, the 29th,
Monday.
Monday,
Yeah.
starting at 8:30.
Yeah.
Running till it's done. And then I have, on the 7th, do you have 10:40? For the proposition on the 1%?
Oh,
That has to be on the agenda. I
Yeah.
think we have it at 10:40.
Send me that.
Yeah, okay, and then, that 15th is just a work session like it's just the P and Z work session. And then the board will meet with the P and Z again on the 21st at 1:15,
Mhm,
and the clerk needs to be there.
mhm.
Perfect, just wanna make sure I got some date, right?
Public hearing on.
right, that's Monday
Yeah.
night, right?
Monday night,
And that's at 6 p.m., right?
6 p.m. here. And then, of course, on the 21st, the first things up will be the budget amendment on the 21st, so that on the agenda you'll list, we're gonna amend the 26 or the 25-26 budget, so there's the amendment first. Then we'll do the approval of
Hey, I'm gonna have to take off.
Okay,
You take it over.
all right, got it.
We could adjourn.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I move to adjourn.
Second.
moving second to adjourn. All those in favor?
Yeah.
Aye.